We're a weekly gaming podcast where our mission is simple: to bring to light and discuss topics that have an impact on our gaming hobby, and at the same time, highlighting our diverse gamer community, also remaining dedicated to our origins.
Guardian down.
Join me, Todd the Gator, and my co-host Kingsley Mack as we invite a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the Guardian Down Roundtable. And now, let's get to it. Well, what's up, Guardians? Welcome to episode 355 of the Guardian Down Roundtable. This is the podcast where Kingsley and I invite a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the table, where every gamer has a seat in the conversation. Our mission is simple. We create a discussion around topics and news that impact our gaming hobby, and all while keeping a focus on our community. We go live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern on my Todd the Gator YouTube and Twitch channels, as well as the Discord live stage. So if you're in the chat live tonight, we love interacting with our chat. So if you have any input for us, have any questions, any feedback on the topics we're talking about tonight, be sure to enter them in the chat or in the Discord chat, and we'll be sure to address them. Might even mention them live on the show. But let's first say hi to Mr. Kingsley Mack from the great state of Utah. How you doing tonight, Kingsley?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, we're starting the podcast. I guess I'll stop playing Diablo.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
No, I can do two things at once.
Hey, I'd love to play Arc Raiders right now, but I'm podcasting.
Yeah, I'm not.
How you been, man?
See?
Oh, I think I got you beat on the weather this time. 96 today. 96.
What do you mean this time? Most of the time you do, obviously.
Yeah,
it was
true.
just those couple of times
Weird
that were
winters.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir,
Yep.
for being on tonight. We appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's introduce our guest co-hosts that are on the table tonight. Our first guest co-host is back for his official first roundtable appearance. You can hear his original interview on 248. That was April of 2024. He's been a member of our community for over 2 years now, and he's one of the co-hosts of the Buzzer to Buzzer podcast, which I was a guest on back in January when my Jags still had a chance in the playoffs and my Bills prediction folded like a cheap lawn chair. From the great state of Colorado, originally from the great state of Texas, it's Mr. Sith Daddy Fresh. How you been, Corey? How you doing, man?
Oh, good, man. Appreciate it. It's cool to be back over here hanging out. I love what you've been doing here with the whole roundtable aspect. I mean, we talked about that a good bit. It's good. I've been great and just working and living life, doing the thing. So,
yeah, man. Well, I'm glad to have you on tonight, man. I'm curious to see what you want to talk about tonight. I think I'll probably get into that topic. So we will see, but thank you, sir.
Yes,
For our second guest co-host, he's back for his second roundtable episode. You might remember his initial interview with us back on July of 2024 on episode 262. He's been a part of our community for over 2 years as well, and he's one of my weekly raid fire team members and also a Gatorade Patreon member for almost 2 years as well. Please welcome one of the other Todds in our community from the great state of North Kakalaki. Welcome back, Mr. Zombie Pops. How you been, Todd?
Good. Been doing good. Busy with work.
Yeah, me too, man.
All that stuff, man. It's that time of year.
Crazy. You got the Luber grasshoppers jumping everywhere yet? Big suckers?
No, we're doing carpenter bees.
Oh, that's right. All those log cabins, man. Jeez.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wood siding everywhere.
Forget that, man. I see a carpenter bee. I'm like, well, it'll go away in a few weeks. Don't worry about it. In Florida, that's what I tell them. It's like rough on cedar siding. You just got to let them burrow into it.
Yeah.
They'll go away and they'll be back this time next year. Yeah. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming back on tonight. I'm looking forward to talking with you as well. So what is on our show tonight? First, we're going to start things off with Mr. Zombie Pops here. He's going to talk about some of the abrupt changes that Xbox is going through right now under the new management since Phil Spencer stepped away as head of Xbox. And then our next topic, Sith Daddy Fresh is going to jump in. We're going to lay out some examples of where he thinks that gaming is headed these days and might have some interesting stats to boot. If there is time, I'm going to check in with Bungie with our normal Bungie roundup and just check in and see what's going on with the TWAB this week and a few things to mention. For the final topic of the show, I'll be kind of adding to what Corey's going to talk about tonight with some interesting news around Arc Raiders and the player behavior going on that has criminologists baffled. After which point, we'll shift into our catch-up segment with everyone and share any highlights of their week. Also, what's been going on since we talked with them last. And then at the end of the show, if time allows, we'll answer questions from our community. So if you do have a question for us, make sure you do enter them in our podcast questions channel in our Discord. It can be a Destiny or non-Destiny question. We have them separated out by channels, and we might get to it tonight. So we appreciate that. Remember, you can go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, if you want to leave us a voicemail or send us an email as well if you have a comment or a question for us. That being said, if everyone's ready, let us roll. Hey, Guardians, even though we're now the new Guardian Down Roundtable, all the ways you can contact us are the same. Just go to guardiandowncast.com where you can email us, write us a review, send us a voicemail that we might air on the show, by the way, and even listen to past episodes where you can also search for a particular guest of the show. You know, I use this every week to find past episodes that our guest roundtablers are from, so you can go back and hear them and hear their story. GuardianDownCast.com. All right, Todd, let's start with you, man. You wanted to talk about Xbox tonight. I know you're a big Xboxer, and I've kind of heard what's been going on lately too, but I'm curious what your take is on all this, man. So the floor is yours.
So Xbox Game Pass, they have cut their price from what it was about 3 months ago by probably about 50% or so.
50? Half?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not good at math. What can I say? I kill bugs for a living. So
I think my Xbox on PC, my PC Game Pass, I think was $13 last month, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but they're cutting the prices on the Xbox Game Pass, all the tiers of it, the PC version as well, and adding more games on it as well, or it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Are they? I don't know. Do you feel like they're making a change just because the community was kind of outraged about the price increases, or is this the new management just, putting on a show?
What do you think, Kingsley? What do you think, man? Is this all just corporate speak or what?
Well, I think there's even a third possibility, and I'm not usually much of a conspiracy theorist, but if you look at the big overall picture, and I'm not saying they planned this, but it's brilliant marketing in the long run. Another option is, even if it was not intentional at first, but by like raising the price first and then lowering it now, it kind of gives people a better feeling. Here's the thing we have to remember, even though the price got lowered, it's still higher than it was. Yep. So yes, it was very, very good that they lowered the price because they raised it way too much. But we're no better off. We're still in a worse position. And the other thing that I find interesting is, yeah, they lowered the price back down, but they're removing some really high-end games. Like, what was it? Call of Duty's not going to be included?
Yeah. The initial, I heard the initial month it's released, I think. It's not going to be available on Game Pass.
Oh, is it only for 1 month?
I'm speculating.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
It won't be out initially.
So that's a little bit better.
It's 1 to 3 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think what would have been a better plan, because like I said, we're still a little worse off with the price. They should have just had like another tier that always guarantees you get everything right away and then raise the price on that. Yeah. But instead, we're in a situation now where, yeah, they raised the price, they lowered it back, but it's still higher than it was, and we get a little bit less stuff. Now, I'm not saying I know the full picture's on, but you were saying they're adding some other games, so that's good. I don't think this is the case because, like I said, I'm not usually a conspiracy theorist, but do you think like they're like, well, now people are actually happy because we lowered the price back down, and let them not remember that it's still $3 more a month than it was originally.
Yeah, and that is a possibility. I mean, honestly, they jacked it so far up, and they're like, you know what?
We'll at least they lowered it. You got to give props for that because it was like way too much of a rise. Like even $3 more is kind of more in line with like all services when they unfortunately raise prices, right? So, whether that's good or bad, at least that's more palatable than the original price increase they tried to do.
Amazing Taco King in the chat just said it'd be the first full year it's out. The newest COD games will not be on Game Pass. How you doing, Amazing Taco King?
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed more because
that's crazy.
Only a month. What's the point? But like,
is that with the full subscription tier though?
Well, I think all the DLC. I think all the DLC's extra, isn't it? Isn't that always the way it's been with Xbox Game Pass?
That is true too. Actually, see, I don't know. I love, and I know a lot of people don't like the Ubisoft stuff, but at least with the Ubisoft Plus tier, like if you have you get everything day one, and you always get the deluxe version. There's no question you are going to get it if they are the publisher. And I do remember that now when I would get I had Xbox on PC Game Pass for a little bit, and it was worth it. I was playing games like Star Wars Outlaws and something else, but then I was like, oh, but I don't get the DLC. Well, I was just so used to that with other subscription services getting the DLC also.
Danger Powers in the YouTube chat also says the lower price doesn't mean anything because they're still going to want you to get the Ultimate. I didn't know they didn't change the price of the Ultimate either. Wow. I don't know.
Well, okay, so I know there's a lot of things like a lot of times too, if you only play on PC, you should only get PC Game Pass. You shouldn't get the Ultimate that has Xbox also because you have no need for that. So does Ultimate though get you more games on PC? So maybe there would be a reason to do that even if you only play on PC?
I think the Ultimate included both console and PC, I believe.
Yeah.
I know, but does it get you more games on PC also as opposed to regular PC Game Pass?
I haven't looked into it for both.
Okay.
That's just not something.
Corey, I wanted to bring you in, man. What do you think about all this? Do you think Xbox is blowing smoke? What do you think's going on here?
No. I definitely thought with the price drop that it had something to do with maybe the Xbox Steam partnership. That was like a rumor, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and then there was a lot of stuff about it. But I also wonder if this is something, and I don't mean to pivot too terribly far from Xbox, but if this is something that Xbox seen coming because of the whole PlayStation taking away the offline play stuff, and if this was them trying to pad their stats essentially and say, hey, we're still cool. We don't give you a Call of Duty, but like you can still hang out and do stuff. With the PlayStation side, because I did say something about it, they're getting rid of, if you don't come on in like a 30-day period,
right,
then digitally downloaded games you lose the rights to, which is
I heard about that.
Crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I was talking to Danger Powers about this last night, actually, whenever I was telling him, hey, I don't know a whole lot about what Zombie's going to talk about. Do you know a lot about this? And he was kind of talking with me through some of the stuff we put in chats. And he was telling me about that. And I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe Microsoft is trying to make themselves look better against Sony for that. Maybe it's the Microsoft Steam partnership. Maybe that's why the Steam machine is taking so stinking long to come out. I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy. I don't really get into the news for Xbox and Steam. Those are just kind of my thoughts.
I know.
Well, then I should clarify because there's a lot of fake news around that. It is not true that they're taking the rights away after 30 days.
No, they've clarified
multiple articles. Yeah. They've clarified what's happening.
Yeah.
So I hate that people are thinking that.
Yeah, I saw
that was just all the stuff that come out.
A game only needs a one-time 30 after the original purchase to clarify that you still have that. And then after that, they're not going to check anymore. And in no cases are they taking the game away. It's just that after you get it in the initial time, you have to check in one more time 30 days later.
You can easily go on PlayStation and hit renew licenses, and then renew licenses on everything too.
This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
This is a new thing that they're also adding on, but you only have to do it once, and it's only 30 days after. And even if you don't do it, then you just can't play the game until you do it, but they're not taking the game away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, again, that was just kind of where our heads had gone. So I wonder if that's where they knew that was kind of coming, and that's why they decided to say, hey, you know what, we're going to drop prices on this. We're going to drop prices on that and kind of go from there. So I'm not 100% sure. I think it's pretty stinking cool if we're being 100% honest. I mean, PlayStation took away the deals tab on the PlayStation Store. Mm-hmm. And I know Xbox has got their ability with the Game Pass to play anything and freaking everything. There's a whole separate subscription through, is it PlayStation, what's this called, like PlayStation Now, where you have to go in and you can play those older games that were made for the older consoles, where Xbox doesn't have to worry about that. So Maybe it's a tactic to try to pull people from console to console, given the fact that a lot of people still play on older consoles. Maybe looking at upgrading. Hey, it's a little bit better to come over here and play on this one, as opposed to going over there. So, I mean, there's 1,000 different things in my head that it could be. Those are just like the three, big ones that I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Microsoft had a little in and was doing some stuff.
Yeah, Amazing Taco King said Ultimate includes a day one first-party launch titles, excluding Call of Duty, multiple indie partner launch day titles, and PC Game Pass. And he also mentioned...
So even the Ultimate doesn't. So if you're on PC, it sounds like you shouldn't get Ultimate if you don't have an Xbox also.
Yeah, PC Game Pass has minimal day one launch titles, but access to PC-only titles and features such as League, Hero Roster without having to buy characters, And he said that the EA Pro, because, they own EA now, it works just like Ubisoft Plus, which you would know more about that, Kingsley, than I would, because I'm not a subscriber to that. But I don't know. Asha Sharma, I guess is her name. We talked about her a few weeks ago, replacing Phil Spencer. I know the Everything's an Xbox campaign has been dissolved. Like it's like a distant memory right now. So she's already trying to erase Phil Spencer from the equation altogether as any of his legacy he had. And also, they did hire Jason Ronald, the vice president of Xbox Gaming, to take over responsibility for the new Project Helix. So, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but he has quite a history of developing consoles. So, I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty bold move, switching the head right away of this new Project Helix. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff swirling around Xbox right now. Some people say Xbox gaming is dead, that it's there, and even Dangered Powers in the chat says, they're scrambling to get players back. They're not going to make any more consoles. Then they're going to collab with Steam. And now they're making the console with some Steam integration. I think the Steam thing kind of backfired on them, but I don't know. I mean, I know console sales are down 33% last quarter. That's a pretty big drop. So.
This has absolutely nothing to do other than it being kind of funny. You had said Jason Ronald, and I was like, I've heard that name before. So I went to Google it to kind of see, his rap sheet. And when you Google Jason Ronald, the second thing that pops up is Jason Ronald GDC. So I click on it, and it's the GDC Festival of Gaming. It pops up. I thought that was just really funny. I'm sorry to kind of derail right there.
Sorry,
I just thought that was worth throwing it in there.
Yeah.
Well, one other comment I'd love to make is I have had times where I've had Xbox Game Pass, PC, Xbox Game Pass, whatever they call it, just the PC only version from time to time, because it's been kind of worth it for some games here and there. But then it's one of the services I will actually turn off from time to time. And then when they raised the price a bunch before it went back down to 13, I was I'm for sure not keeping it now. But to be fair, since it came back down some, still higher than it was, I'm definitely considering adding it back now. I think it'll kind of just be because I don't luckily care about Call of Duty, but if there's other games on there, I will still get it from time to time. And I think it's one of those things that it's generally somewhat worth it or a lot worth it, depending on what games you play on PC. I'm always going to love my Ubisoft Plus one the best, but I definitely have had it from time to time, and it's been worth it from time to time.
Yeah, Amazing Taco King also says in the chat that the Xbox brand has kind of been dying, and they're going more to Windows gaming using the Xbox infrastructure brand to kind of tie it in, I guess. And he also says 15 years ago, they pushed for gaming anywhere where old titles had a PC and console licenses that works for both platforms at one price. Yeah. They started to revive with the app integration on PC and console. Starfield is cross-platform progression. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if I was the head of Xbox coming in after someone as big as Phil Spencer, I would probably not want to make too many big changes. I would probably get with the team right away and say, listen, I'm not trying to replace Phil, but we've made some really dumb stuff here, some dumb directions here. And it seems to me like they're making a 180 and whipping back to focus back on the console and back on to games, maybe first party games, which, I mean, my God, man, they bought all these studios, and what have we heard from first party games? Not much. I mean, I haven't heard of much because I want an excuse to buy an Xbox, but there's been no excuse. There's been nothing that's prompted me to even want to go even consider getting an Xbox right now. So,
but on the main point of the topic, it was good that they made this change right away, bring the price back down.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, it's not like you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So a lot going on with Xbox right now. Big shakeup. And what is it, corporate speak or what? That's kind of the question here. Is this just, I mean, she was head of some shopping. What was it called?
I thought it was
Instacart.
an AI company.
It was Instacart. That's what she was in charge of. So I don't know. We'll just see. Maybe she brings in more AI into the equation. I talked about that last time we were bringing the subject up, but I haven't seen anything as of yet. So we'll have to just see. Sony exclusives are miles better than anything Microsoft is. Oh, I'm saying, man, there's really name a game that's Xbox exclusive. I can't think of anything right now.
Forza.
Yeah, that is true. Forza. Yeah. No, that's one. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Todd. I know you wanted to just bring it up tonight and see how we all felt about it. Let's keep going here, guys. Let's move on to our next topic. We'll do that right after this.
Hi, this is Fluffy Fingers MD from Potato Thumbs Podcast, the podcast that you never knew existed. I am here to tell you that you are listening to Guardian Down, the squarest coffee table around.
Okay, Sith Daddy Fresh, you're up, man. Something you wanted to bring to our attention tonight. Really curious what your take is on this topic coming up. What do you got, man?
Yeah, so just a thought is something I was kind of looking into is hearing from, it was like the Arc Raiders community on how they wanted the gameplay to be more PVE focused as opposed to being PvP focused, because a lot of that game is both. But I would say like probably 60% after they started coming out with the new, big world bosses and stuff, it shifted to a PvE focus where you're fighting with the people and you bust your butt to be able to get through these things and you want to be able to complete them, and then turn around and someone just shoots you in the back and takes all your stuff. And I get that's the point of the game, but there was a lot of people who had stuff to say about this. So it's is the PvP game kind of, is it dying off a little bit? Is there a shift to the PvE? And then what the heck happened to the PvP VE side of the gaming world? So I don't come with articles. I wish I did. There's not a whole heck of a lot of articles about it, but kind of run through the last, I think I have 10 years of Game of the Years, right? The award for the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So last year was Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It was Astrobot. Then it was Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, It Takes Two, The Last of Us Part 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, God of War, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Overwatch, and then The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. So when I look at all of those games and I go, okay, cool, what do I see? I see a PvP or PvE focused game, player versus everything,
right?
And Expedition 33. Astrobot is kind of a co-op kind of game that you can play with people in the house. Same thing with Baldur's Gate. It's a PvE focus. Elden Ring is PvE focus. It Takes Two is co-op. The Last of Us is PvE. And you can go through every single bit of this list all the way down to Overwatch in 2016 when they won.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a PvP game that has won the Game of the Year. And I know that to some people it's not a big deal, but to others it's a huge deal. I attribute a couple of different things to that. I think that PvP partially feels overwhelming to a point to a lot of people. People just wanting to kind of optimize the fun that they have by using meta loadouts. I feel like that kind of throws some games off just kind of just a little bit. I think the new player side of things coming in, if you're brand new to a first person shooter, you're not going to have the best time in the world, because you're playing against guys who have been around for freaking ever playing that exact same game. I think part of it as well is PvP games are feeling a little bit too sweaty meta heavy. You got to hit level 55 to unlock this gun in Call of Duty. And then you got to get that gun to level 50 in order to unlock this attachment that makes it just like 1,000 times better. So then it becomes just intense, meta heavy, sweaty PvP environments that are just, they ruin it for a lot of people who are just jumping into things. I don't know. I'll go with that kind of there first. I don't know kind of where your guys' head is, kind of just with the PvP side of things.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear it. So,
Todd, what do you think, man? What do you think about all this? You agree, or do you have a different opinion, different take?
I don't have a whole lot to say on the PvP side of things. I'm not much of a PvPer. I will play occasionally, but not to the extent that like grinding and worrying about rank or guns or whatever with it. So
yeah.
It's been I did it like a long time ago in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And I learned not to be that obsessed with playing against other people.
I got you.
I
think I'm going to have the hottest take here, but Kingsley, I'm curious what you think, man. I know you're mainly a PvEer as well, right?
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to have a few subtopics here, but on the subtopic on Game of the Year, I think it's much more simple. It's not so much PvE versus PvP, but like you're giving examples, even going back to 2016, I believe even way earlier than that, you're always going to have a PvE game win Game of the Year, almost always, because it has a much better chance of having a good story in it. PvP games just don't generally have that because they put so much more development time on the loop of the game. Another example that goes along with this is live service games that are even PvE generally don't get Game of the Year either. There's a couple thoughts there. A lot of times people think like, well, it needs to be a new game. And even if it's a live service game, it's the new expansion this year. No, doesn't count. You don't deserve to get Game of the Year, even if it's a really good story. So I think it's just much more simple. You just by the nature of how these game awards work, you got to have a good reason to give it Game of the Year. And usually that reason is going to be an awesome story. So I just think it's as simple as that for the Game of the Year topic.
All right. Here's my hot take. Ready? We're getting older. That's why. Because Gen Alphas, they're not playing Call of Duty. They're not playing the Twitch shooters anymore. They're playing Roblox. They're playing those games. By the way, have you seen all the Roblox ads on national television now? It's crazy, man. They've gone mainstream. I guess if they make that kind of money, I guess they can afford millions on commercials. But here's the thing, man. I definitely have a PvP background. I mean, I played Crucible forever. I still love playing Iron Banner when it rolls around in Destiny 2. I just, I used to be super, super serious, even though I was above average at best. I still took it very seriously. I always used the meta. I always had the right, stats on my armor. I was always following True Vanguard or Cool Guy or watching what they're using or watching some streams, watching how people are playing trials. How are they moving around the maps in Crucible and stuff? And Call of Duty, I mean, I've talked enough about that. I mean, I remember those toxic lobbies back in the day, and the PV multiplayer was the only reason you jumped into Call of Duty. You just kind of blew past the campaigns and stuff. It was all about the multiplayer. But I think what's happening, first, to answer your question about Game of the Year, I think the reason PvE games, maybe except for the one you mentioned there that was multiplayer, is PvE games are more broad appeal to them. PvP games are very niche. I mean, Marathon's finding that out right now. They're very niche games, and if you're not a hardcore PvPer, you're probably not going to stay very long playing Marathon because it is a shoot-on site. You better know exactly what to use. Your Twitch reflexes better be good because the time to kill is super fast in Marathon. And I think as we get older, I think we start wanting to enjoy not having, I mean, let's face it, we're all getting older and our Twitch reflexes aren't what they used to be. And for the younger kids that are still playing a lot of PvP, they're taking our lunch, man. I mean, they just have that youth. They have that young brain where their eye-hand coordination is fast. I still think mine is decent, but I think that's what it comes down to. I think the gaming audience, Corey, overall is getting older. I think we're getting older. We're having kids now. We're having families. We don't have the time to put in, 4 hours a day to practice, PvP games. And that's my take. I think we're just getting older as a gaming generation, and the younger generation that usually fills in to take over those PvP games, are starting out on co-op games like Roblox and Fortnite and I mean whatever else that kids are getting into. I mean, was it the not the blocky one, Minecraft? That's all the kids are playing right now. They're building worlds and stuff. They're not worrying about shooting people in the head. That's my take anyway.
Fortnite, PUBG.
Well, Fortnite, yeah, I know it's a bad example.
It's not niche PvP games.
It's not niche, but let's just put it this way. Of all four of us here, how many of us play PvP in Destiny?
Well, that's a very small sample size.
I understand, but what I'm just saying, if we took a poll of everybody in chat, everybody talking right now live, I bet you it's going to be favorable to PvE.
That doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
We need a much better sample size.
I understand. You're trying to make it fair, but I'm just saying when I try to turn people on to Crucible and Destiny 2, people are like, no, I'm good, man. I don't care to learn. I don't want to learn. I don't want someone teabagging my ass after they kill me with a gun. And let's not forget, cheating is rampant in all the PvP games now. Marathon's dealing with it. Arc Raiders is dealing with it. They're getting better and better at infiltrating these games in the PvP areas and just exploiting everything in the game. And I remember when Battlefield came out on PC, that Battle Eye system they had was strict, man. If you did anything to alter the game at all, you'd get booted, man. And you'd immediately get like a 1 week suspension from even joining the lobbies anymore. But now it seems like every time I turn around, I'm hearing about, from the streamers especially, is the cheaters are just out of control. And that's what I've been hearing in Marathon right now. And I'm hearing it a little bit in the Arc Raiders environment too, because I've been watching a lot more stuff in the Arc Raiders world. So, and we all know about the cheating in Destiny 2. It's just been terrible. And if you play Trials and you get to the end of your card where you're almost flawless, you start running into the cheaters. And especially on PC, it just seems to be more exploitable, the PC games. I don't know. That's another factor.
Regardless if we like it or not, and cheaters, I would love to see some stats sometime.
Yeah, I would too.
We don't have anything recent, and I'm not trying to say the tide isn't turning, but I did some quick looks, and supposedly through 24, PvP games have easily been the most played games of the year, except for 23 was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Right. It was pretty much always Call of Duties and games like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just not sure, like, we can say it's niche. I'm not sure we can say no one's playing it. I'm not sure gamers are getting older. I mean, maybe there is a trend. I would love to see some. Okay. I don't want to answer based on what I like. I mean, I'm a PvE player.
I don't have any data on that.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't have numbers.
Oh, no, I didn't have articles.
Okay. Got it.
And I was actually waiting for somebody to bring this up.
Hit it, Corey.
In the PvE style games, the Arc Raiders and things like that.
Marathon.
It's Marathon and I mean, heck, I guess you could throw like Arc. You could throw that in there. Rust, you could throw that in. Like, there's all kinds of stuff.
Or even the original Escape from Tarkov.
EVP.
Yeah, Tarkov. Yeah. So in that, as of 25, 26, 35 to 40% of gamers have reported that they would rather have a sole PvE experience over a PvPvE experience.
Right.
Which, fair, right? I mean, that's kind of how a lot of people are. On the flip side of that, though, is that of people who came from things like Escape from Tarkov, who primarily play a PvE style game, that number is up by almost 50% of over PvP games in 25, 26. So I want to say it was probably January to January.
Okay.
They would rather do the quest in the chill atmosphere without having to deal with the hackers, like was already brought up, and then any kind of desync that you may run into. And then to the last port, which is the age range, which I was actually I knew having Todd here, this was going to come up. The age comment, the global player, the global video game player average age is 41 years old.
That was 35.
The average in the United States is 35 to 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Around the world, it is 41 globally.
That's
which
old.
I think is I mean, like, it's not. That's not old.
I mean, if you're 41, you only got 20 more years to live, according to Lana.
Yeah.
I love you, Lana. I don't mean to pick on you. I still remember that comment.
To that, though, is like, if people coming from primarily PvE games playing PvP games, they're saying, hey, I would rather have a PvE game that I could play with my buddies, that co-op style, over a strict PvP game and it just be PvE. Fantastic. And then of the people who are currently playing the PvPvE, they're saying, hey, I would, 30 to 40% of them are saying, hey, I would rather this be strictly PvE with the PvP option. And again,
so they want it both ways, or
no, they want PvE and then have the option to do the PvP portion of it.
So not strictly.
Did I say the wrong word? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood. That's all I was asking you.
They want to kill stuff with their friends, and then they want to have the option to kill stuff with their friends and other people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's different than saying they don't want PvP. They want both options. Yeah. Okay.
But they want them to be kind of separate. So that is the kind of thing where my head went of like, is the PvE game coming back? Is it something that having the co-op style game even, is that something that's, we're going to see a lot more of? There's people out there right now, half of the Space Mafia dudes are playing Winrose, which is co-op PvE open world crazy survival craft game.
Yep.
They're all playing that, right? There's, I got buddies who play Ark, who they will do a wipe 1 month in a PvP server and then do a straight PvE server so they don't get burnt out doing strictly PvP stuff. So that's kind of where my head goes, is maybe not so much the age group, because I play video games with people from my nephew who's 15 years old all the way up to an individual who I was told not to name on this podcast. It's a big age range. It's a big age range, and a lot of us are all playing the PvE, more focused PvE style games over. And then again, to the age thing, globally, it's 41 years old. That's 10 years older than me right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's in 10 years. If I'm the guy who's like, I get killed in a video game and I'm like, freaking teenager got 300 hours into this game and I just bought it. That's crazy. And then there's a better chance that it's a 41-year-old dad working his 9 to 5 who just shit on me, like that's kind of where the conversation come from. And that's where I started pulling stuff and things like that. So
yeah, it's my topic's going to tie into yours tonight, but I don't know, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I very much becoming more and more like Kingsley. I'm all about discovering these worlds. I'm all about looking at every nook and cranny of these worlds and Arc Raiders right now. Just seeing, what's over here beyond the pier over here? I want to see what's over there. What did Embark do over there? And everything has a little nook and cranny. Everything has like little special things. They hide stuff in the corners and where you never look. You never know to look. And I love it, man. I'm eating it up right now. And, I played
up bounties.
Well, there's bounties involved, but
then you're not like me.
In the catch-up segment, I'll talk about that. I won't get too far ahead of myself, but I have changed my.
I do appreciate what you're saying.
I have changed my style a little bit since things have changed a little bit since I've been playing. But yeah, I still love challenging myself playing PvP. I just have come to the realization that unless you play it every day and you're playing the maps every day, you have the map knowledge and you know where the enemies are going to be coming. You know the best cover. There's so much you need to know in a multiplayer game if you want to really be good at it. And to stay on top is just brutal, man. Even for younger kids that play it, younger adults that play it, they have to be on top of their game. They have to be trying new stuff all the time. They got to be practicing, clearing a room. I mean, it's almost like military training, man. You really have to go through the routines and really get the processes down. And I know, Corey, you being from the Army, know all about process. So yeah, I mean, it's a young man's game now, man. It really is. And like I said, I'll mention it one more time. The cheaters have really ruined. I know there's always been cheaters. External Barge said that in chat. There's always been
People
cheaters
said
in
for
games.
years. Yeah.
Yes, I understand, but it just seems like it's more easy to people to get into these games now and inject code into these games. And I don't know if either the developers just can't fight it back with their software programs, or they just don't care. I don't know which is which, and maybe it's different for every studio, but I don't know. It just seems to me like a lot of the younger Gen Alphas out there, they're playing on their iPhones. They're playing on their tablets. They're not playing on PCs. They're not playing on consoles. It's us old timers that are playing on consoles and PC, and it just
plus because of money. They don't have money for those things.
That's and I've talked about that in a past topic as well. How games are so expensive now that only
they want to.
Yeah,
they want to play on consoles. Trust me.
I'm still going to argue that point with you. I still think that what they've grown up on is what they're used to playing on. I don't know. I still think they're not going to go to PC even if they had the money. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, they are. All the time tell me they want to.
Okay.
Right. My 21-year-old son, he begging for money for a PC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's money is the issue. Yeah.
I think that's almost into a whole nother topic that would derail us. That kind of borders that, and it goes off of what Scarlett said right here in the Discord chat. He said everybody's a video gamer nowadays, like Astrocross had said. We just go off of how games make us feel. Brain go we.
Yep.
Right.
It's all about the dopamine.
And that's 100%. Let's look at Gen Alpha kids. Like, I'm gonna sound like I yell at people for getting on my grass, but yeah, there you go, boomer. That's the word. I'm gonna sound like a boomer, but Gen Alpha kids grew up with a cell phone in their hand.
Yeah.
So it's what they know to use. We didn't have cell phones. I'm 31. I didn't have a cell phone growing up. I grew up looking at that PlayStation going, man, I'm waiting for dinner to finish. Oh my God, I am. I'm waiting so hard for that. And then, there's the older crowd who grew up when they came out. They were having kids of their own, like my parents. They were like, well, we'll get it. Okay, cool, whatever. So I think it's more or less of like to that point of what is the most readily available to, say that generation of kids.
I will say this. The millennials, young millennials, and the Gen Alphas right now are lucky because most of their parents have gamed. My parents didn't game, so it was like pulling teeth trying to get a console or a game, or they just didn't understand the fascination with it. And now I'm watching my grandson, and anytime my wristwatch goes off, my Apple Watch or my phone or anything, he's like, it's just instant attraction. The kid's already learning about displays, and I mean, it's going to be their life, man. And my son's tried to limit screen time with them. It's just so hard to do, man, when we're all inundated with screens these days and displays. And I don't know. That could be another topic as well. But no, I'm glad you brought it up, Corey, because I kind of had a take on why I think that is. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but the stats seem to at least lean my way at least a little bit. But yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. All right.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought.
I was just trying to clarify again. We only had one stat, right? The people that only play PvE, EVP, 30 to 40% of them were considering they want it separated.
Did you?
So I don't know if that's like a golden stat. I would love to see like when the 25, 26 numbers come out, what's the most played games of the year.
I think Corey was stating just the average player of a video game player.
Yeah, well, that stat was for 25-26 according to Google AI.
Okay.
I ran it through Google and I ran it through Chat GPT, which that's a conversation for a different day, which is the use of AI. But I ran it through both, and both of them gave me the same answer. So I took it and I copied and pasted and put it on my note.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But yeah, that was 2025. January 25 to January 26. People who played PVE games stated that they would have 30 to 40% of them said they would want to have it be a PVE game with the option to go over and do the PvP side of stuff.
Yeah, so I guess the question is how many people play just that limited PVE games?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started to look those things up, and then it's the reason that I was late getting into the green room tonight. So I did have forethought to get those numbers for you guys, but yeah, some of the ones that I had seen was It's the bigger ones. It's the freaking the Rust, the Gray Zone, even to a point was in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Ark. It's those style of games, that kind of survival craft,
survival shooters and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff that really took a big portion of what I had seen. I don't want to don't hold me to that specific portion of it because I don't have the number.
It's just a conversation, man.
No worries.
That's good. That's good. We're just talking about it. Yeah,
I know.
Cool. It's a good topic, man. I wish I would have thought of it. I haven't really thought about how the gaming crowd has changed a bit. So, because back in my day, it was all about Call of Duty and gaming with your buddies every night. 6 people versus 6 people, or was it 10v10 if you're playing Ground War, I think, something like that. But that was all in the aughts. That's all we did was play Call of Duty online. That was the shit, man. That's all we did. Anyway. All right. Good topic, Corey. Good topic, man. Lee, let's do this before we get into my topic. Let's check in with Bungie. Just a quick Bungie roundup before we go to the next topic right after this.
Hey, this is Beryl Barley, and you're listening to Guardian Down Roundtable.
All right. This week in Destiny for May 7th, 2026, not a whole lot, but there is a lot coming. There is a community challenge going on right now called Commander's Orders, and they've surpassed the primary goal of 15 million PVE kills and are nearing the escalated target of 50 million kills. Just remember the event ends on reset of May 12th, so it's still going on, and it must be a specific Zavala selected weapon, like a Mint Retrograde, an Unfall, Mito Macro Tool, Hawthorne's Field Forge Shotgun, the Psi Aterna, the Horror's Least, or a Good Shout. Those seem to be the weapons they're talking about. I did my part. I jumped into a raid this weekend and used my Mint Retrograde a lot. So the rewards is the Commander's Salute emblem. It's awarded for reaching the initial 15 million goal. And then there's the Gold Stars emblem awarded upon reaching the 50 million escalated goal. So there's been some drama in the Destiny community about emblem distributions and rewards being delayed. And the Animal Instinct emblem, the deliveries are underway for players who completed at least 7 Guardian Games activities. Hell, I'm out. It binds Compel's emblem. This reward has been granted to eligible participants already. It is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So they're collaborating with the Bungie Foundation and Gamers Engaged to support the community initiative. So check that out as well. That's going on right now. Shit's broken, pretty much usual stuff there. But the main thing I wanted to mention is they are going to be talking about the June update next week's TWAB. So next week's TWAB might be a little more meatier than usual, but I just want to mention that they are going to be talking about, at least starting to talk about roadmaps and stuff for the new June update in Destiny 2. I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do. Have I forgotten anything, Kingsley? Anything else I need to mention tonight?
Well, yeah, a little bit of Marathon. It's not really news, but it's something that I wrote in the Discord. But I do want to kind of mention for people that think that Marathon is dying and going away next week. I would say think again, because, well, I'm being facetious.
Okay,
but,
sorry, I went over my head. Sorry, went over my head.
Not literally.
Sorry. Anyways, they've said a couple times now, and this may be obvious, but let's really think this through, people, that they have a multi-year plan with Marathon. Do you think Sony would let them say that multiple times in a row if they're planning on killing it soon? I really don't think they would.
I still think Sony's going to pull the plug on them eventually. No.
The question first. Okay, I want to hear from Sith.
Okay,
a very specific question. So you think Sony would let them say that, and they're going to pull the plug soon?
Yeah, because Bungie had been saying it for however many years before they were acquired by Sony, and then they've been saying it for years and years after. When it comes to Destiny 2 as a whole, we have a multi-year plan, a multi-year plan, a multi-year plan.
I'm talking about Marathon.
I know. That's why I'm saying yes. I think that they would. Maybe not next week. Crazy. That is crazy. But sooner rather than later, absolutely, I could see it, because you have a live service game that has made hundreds of millions of fans across the world who they let them say, we have a multi-year plan for how this is going to work and what's going to happen. And numbers are down across the board. Sales are down across the board, right? Just with Destiny 2. So I could 100% see it if Sony feels like they're just hemorrhaging money from the Marathon project.
I can't.
So there's a couple of things here.
Good.
So first of all, we can't count before Sony took over. And we know for a fact that Sony has made Bungie limit certain things in what they're saying. They're not letting, they want to tell us more about Destiny right now, but they're not allowed to yet until next week, I guess, because it's finally getting closer. And there was other things that Sony was definitely, they're taking control of the studio lately. Now, minds can still get changed and they can close it in a year versus a multi-year. But I just 1000% believe that Sony management wouldn't let Bungie's game director say that they have a multi-year plan if it's going to be shut down next month.
There was another studio that said that they had lots of plans in the future, and then Sony promptly shut them down. I can't remember the studio exactly. Maybe chat knows, but there was a studio who said very similar things. And then
I want to see the details when you say promptly.
I can't remember.
It was like
I can't remember.
A month later, or like
it was brief. It was not long after that they closed up their studio and shut them down. I'm sticking with my initial prediction with Marathon. They're going to shut it down in March of next year. I think they're going to give them the full year to put out their content and run whatever they've developed. And then I think finally, if the numbers don't go up, they're just
I think they have at least a year too. But now I would even say, all bets are off a year from now if it keeps going. But the people that are saying like, oh, it's going to be 3 to 6 months total. No. I guarantee it'll go at least a year.
I think they're going to, they've got way too much invested in that game. And maybe they can get some DLC sales or maybe some cosmetic stuff. But I tell you, their cosmetic was garbage. I bought some of their currency just to help support them. I couldn't find anything I wanted to buy. It looked all terrible. It looked bad. I think I bought like $10 worth of currency because I was going to buy one of the outfits for my assassin. I was like, the one I got from doing this certain faction mission over here looks better than anything I've seen in a game. So it's the green and black. Looks really good. Anyway, but
yeah, Todd, are you talking about the Bluepoint games or Dark Outlaw?
I think Bluepoint is the one I'm talking about.
Because they worked on God of War.
Bluepoint was one of the best. I talked about this. Bluepoint is like one of the best studios when it comes to revamping or bringing out envision games or whatever you want to call it. I can't remember, but
remastered.
Remastered.
No.
Thank you, Zombie.
Yeah.
But now they took God of War, the remastering. They were going to be planning on doing that. They took it out of their hands. And
they wanted to do a live service version of it.
Yeah,
and then the other
that's
one
not what that's not what Bluepoint does though. They don't do live service games. Yeah. They didn't want to do it, but they were forced into it because Sony's their overlord. And then finally Sony said, "Okay, it's just not working out at all. Bye."
Yep. And then the other one was Dark Outlaw, and they were founded by the original founder of Call of Duty, Jason Randolph, I think is his name.
Right.
That they acquired them in like 24 and then shut them down in 26.
But there was a studio, maybe it was them. I can't remember. I was reading an article on it. I honestly can't remember which studio it was, but they were talking about how they are stronger than ever. They're so looking forward to the future, and then boom, done. So yeah,
I would love to see that thing, but yeah, also if they say it once and then Sony shuts them down, that's different than what I'm saying.
It doesn't
now. Bungie's saying it multiple times, and if Sony was going to shut off really soon, I bet they would tell them to stop saying that.
I don't think they're going to do that. No, I think they're going to give them the year.
Own Bungie right now.
Yeah, they're going to give them the year. They're going to give them the year to put out their content that they've been developing, and maybe the dark, the nighttime Dire Marsh map that's going to be coming with the next season. I'm really curious to see what happens when the season resets and they reset all your crap. So that's the reason I quit playing, to be honest, Corey, because I was working so hard to unlock all these weapons and stuff. And by the time I got to the end game in this, I'd get whatever rewards and I'd maybe be able to enjoy it for a week and then take it all away. So that's the reason I like Raiders. They give you the option to just earn everything and just have fun playing the game.
Well, with Arc Raiders, do they
bought the game?
with Arc Raiders, do they not have a similar system that you can forego that by jumping in on the the voyage or whatever the heck they call it.
It's called
you can jump into it.
expedition.
But if you don't jump into
You
it,
have
then
to
it
opt.
doesn't matter,
No.
right?
I opted into it, but
Okay.
I'm just not completing it. And it's got like 4 days left, I think, because right now is the week that everyone's trying to get their 100,000 damage in. I really didn't know what I got from the expedition, other than I think 5 more points for the skill tree.
Skill points.
But I also heard that they give you more slots in your inventory. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So maybe next time it comes around, I might do an expedition and see. But man, it's so hard finding all the blueprints. That's what's taking me so long right now, is all the blueprints. Trying to find them all. I'm digging in drawers. I'm looking everywhere, and I can't seem to get them to drop. I've done almost every mission, every side quest they've given me. I have like 3 left, I think, and I'm done with all the quests. So I've done everything I can, and I'm max level, which is 75, which I'll talk about later in the catch up. But yeah, I agree with you, Kingsley. I don't think they're going to be shutting down Marathon. I just think right now, I think they're going to wait. Sony's going to wait and see what happens when everyone starts fresh again with that big reset coming, and then the night Dire Marsh, the night raid on that. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to?
I mean, and we really don't know like how much it would cost to make the game. People have speculated. I'm sure it's not the 500 million that you were throwing around.
I heard 400 to 500.
200.
I heard 400 to 500, and that was through Gemini 3.
I heard 200 to 400.
That was through Gemini 3, but they verify stuff with usually websites that report on it. But the big thing is because they shut the game down and revamped it and restarted it, they're thinking all that internal cost. I think it took them 8 years to make that game, man. Think of that salary, that $1.5 million a day burn that Bungie's going through right now. Speculated.
Well, remember, Destiny's not making money either.
Yeah.
So we have to just think here. Yeah. If Sony, if we hear about the plan coming up in June, let's say we hear there's like another year of Destiny. I mean, it kind of proves the point that Sony won't be shutting down Destiny or Marathon very quickly.
I don't think they are.
Maybe they look at it as a long-term investment.
I'm just going to say,
just because they haven't made their money back, maybe they're just going to be like, well, it's a loss leader, or maybe they'll hope that slowly over time. I'm not saying this would happen, but updates and marathons, if it keeps going, you slowly can get more people buying things and coming to it and stuff,
The biggest blunder in history, in video game history, would be Sony not letting Destiny 3 come about and not letting Bungie make another game, because they've learned so much from the sunsetting, the engine problems. They can make the best of everything in this new Destiny 3 game, and I really hope they let them do it. That's my biggest fear right now, is I'm curious if Sony's going to pull the purse strings a little bit. But Sony's got lots of money, man. They got lots of money to throw around. Anyway.
Yeah, but how much would Bungie listen to its community? Yeah, they've had sunsetting feedback, and they've had all these other great, crazy things that they can learn from. But the one thing that has ruined Bungie for a lot of people is the not listening to the community. It's not giving the community, their flowers when they give them feedback. Does Sony step in there too and say, hey, you've got 500,000 people on Reddit saying one thing, and you guys are pivoting in a completely different direction. Let's hope you know what you're doing. Yeah. And I mean,
that could be an entirely different conversation.
Absolutely.
I've been covering this game for so long. I could get into a diatribe on that alone.
Yeah, it's always too vague, the listening to the community, because actually some people were okay with certain things that, so it's like, what does that even mean? Is it your opinion or my opinion?
Not to mention how many different kinds of players does Bungie have? A lot of different kinds of players. Everyone wants something different from the game. I'd say there's at least probably 7 or 8 different kinds of players that played.
When they sent out those surveys, I bet you answered yours differently, Todd, than I answered mine.
Probably. Probably. Yeah. I know one of them was, please give some attention to the Crucible. Make some more maps, please.
Though, well, yeah. And I even would say they should do that. I'm fair. I'm not a PvP player, but we need more content. Crucible and PvE.
External Barge, I would respond to that, but I guarantee you I would go down a rabbit hole and we'd be here for another hour. Maybe even another night, sir. Bring that up another night and I will talk. But I have opinions about that comment that Bungie will never listen to the player. I have comments on that, but I'll maybe another show we'll get into that. Maybe as we know more about June. That'd be a good time to do it. So, all right, let's move on. Fair. Thank you, Kingsley. Let's move on. That's our wrap up of Bungie this week. And update battle. I get it, man. All right, let's get into our last topic, and then we'll sit back and catch up. Be right back.
Hey, Kingsley, I know you like to be fair and all, but cut Gator some slack, will you? You know he loves his bounties. You're listening to Guardian Down Roundtable.
All right, for the final topic of tonight, I know Corey talked about the latest trend going on in PvP and PVE and the PvE games out there. But I actually wanted to present a case study where criminologists have been studying the playing habits by Arc Raiders players' behavior. They're actually being nice. Now, I give credit where credit's due here. This article was by Elijah Gonzalez with AV Club, and the title was Criminologists Are Baffled by Arc Raiders Players' Behavior. And he begins stating that Arc Raiders and Marathons seem like very similar games on the surface, but the way the players treat one another could not be any different. Since Tarkov first arrived, extraction shooters have been very unforgiving video games. Everyone had noticed that, the AI enemies are usually pretty tough, but the real threat was the human players who might unpredictably stab you in the back to take your stuff. But there's nothing more frustrating than getting sniped in Destiny 2 Crucible. But imagine watching the enemy actually pillage through your warm corpse still while your camera's still on. It can be really demeaning playing an extraction shooter. The latest two entries, Marathon and Arc Raiders, they attract new players due to the fact that players can bring in the game this free loadout, right? It minimizes the risk of losing a loot that that 1,000-hour player might have all the best stuff. So it makes it more even. In the OG extraction shooters like Tarkov, you could literally be bringing a knife to a gunfight. It was that unfair if you didn't know what you're doing. Now, in an interview with The Guardian, Arc Raiders producer, and I'm going to butcher this name, Alexander Grondel, mentioned he had been contacted by a neurology professor eager to study human behavior in the game, but also by a criminologist who was intrigued by how players are interacting with each other. They're hanging out in lobbies cooperating instead of shooting each other in the head. Now, today, it's very common for people to be pretty ruthless online, especially in the social media apps like X and Facebook and Instagram and you name it. But even more surprising, in a game where killing someone allows you to jack all their stuff. The Arc Raiders producer said that 1 in 5 players have never killed someone else, and half have never taken out fewer than 10 players. I've never killed anybody in Arc Raiders. I'm one of those 5. I'm the 1 in 5. I'm the total pacifist when I play. I have never killed a person. One person came up to me while I was in my spawn and tried to use a pickaxe on me, and I turned around and shot him with my Pharaoh, but I didn't kill him, and he ran away. Like, holy shit, he's actually shooting me back. So that's the only time I've ever even had any aggression toward another player. But anyway, I'm one of those 5. That 1 in 5. I'm that 20%. Now, when they were talking with the Arc Raiders producer, he said that fewer, like I said, have taken out less than 50% of the population have taken out less than 10 players. So if you think about it, it's amazing that half of the Arc Raiders community has a lower body count than what you would total in one Call of Duty match. Amazing, Taco King? I'm not talking to you right now. So my question is this. Why do you think that's the case? I mean, I think one of you called Arc Raiders the kids version of an extraction shooter. He might be in this party right now, but I won't point anybody out. But I really think it goes deeper than that, guys. For one, Arc Raiders is a very hopeful game. It's the post-apocalypse, and your objective is to keep the underground community surviving by doing these limited missions on the surface. And you're killing all these murderous robots that are coming at you. And at the same time, the byproduct is you get to find some cool loot along the way. It's kind of a win-win situation if you think about it. The plot of the whole game is about you aiding other players. That's the tone that this game puts in place. There is also a common threat that we as players are always struggling to survive. I mean, you take any of these arc enemies for granted, they will gang up on you, and the machine learning process and the AI that they use with these enemies, they can be downright cold-blooded. In contrast, Marathon is based on more individual greed and getting rich, helping out these corporations or factions you represent. And the theme is more bleak. It's set in like hyper-capitalist future. And in fact, one of the corporate factions, Arachne, is actually a death cult. It's all about killing other people, and you get rewarded for it. So another thing that the Arc Raiders producer mentioned in the interview is that 95% of the players use the proximity chat, whereas I've rarely heard anyone use it in Marathon. Some YouTube content creators have actually compiled dozens of in-game conversations with strangers in these Arc Raiders lobbies, ranging from intimate insecurities that they start talking about life issues and questions about parenting and raising kids. I mean, I think I myself have had conversations with other players in the game. I kind of wish I recorded some of them because you can encounter all kinds of different perspectives when it comes to the game and the different philosophies of the players. And I think the fact that these conversations in games are more anonymous and kind of fleeting kind of make people open up a little bit more, which is unnerving to me, to be honest. I'm a shooter fan coming from those toxic Call of Duty lobbies. Marathon has actually tried to make solos team up and extract together and given rewards to do so, but I don't know if it's been working that well. Trust in this game, it just seems to be hard to find. But both games seem to be in the opposite ends of the overall social experiment. And I can see why scholars are so interested in studying these games, but maybe the overall message of this behavior is just how malleable people can be when the reward structures are created a certain way. I mean, it is common knowledge in Arc Raiders community that matchmaking is based on how aggressive you are to other players, and how you play a raid determines what other types of players you're grouped up with. I had a conversation with a fellow raider just last night at Buried City, and we talked about these non-PvP lobbies. They call them the Care Bear lobbies. I'll be honest, I've only gotten killed by 3 people in all of 150 hours I've played this game, and it's always by someone who kills me when I'm just sitting there like idle. So maybe I need to hide a little bit better when I'm looking at a video or going to use the bathroom real quick and just sitting still. Those seem to be the players that kill me, is the ones that probably can't shoot a gun very well. And they think, oh, look, this guy's just sitting here. Let's just take his stuff, And I'll tell you another thing too. If you see a dead raider, you come upon a dead raider in the game, I've heard, do not loot them because it will count as you being aggressive toward another PvP player. So I don't know, man. That's the way I've been playing. And so far, I've gotten pretty much PvE lobbies. I had a guy last night. I said, listen, dude, I got a mission. I'm supposed to kill a Bastion. I got to get a Bastion core. It's one of my last missions I got to do here. I've been waiting to do it because everybody, as soon as the Bastion goes down, everybody sprints to the damn ruins to grab that damn Bastion core. This dude said, you know what, dude? I got you covered. Here, let me start shooting them, and I'll make sure you take the final shot on them. And I had one of those dead mines, whatever you call them, where you just put the mine on them and you run away. And I took them out, and then I got my thing done. And the guy was so cool. He said, dude, I said, we only got 2 minutes left. I got to hurry. He goes, come in here and grab some of this stuff. He goes, no, man, I got plenty. I said, just do what you need to do, man. I'm watching your back. We're good. So I'm curious. I know not all of you play Arc Raiders, but any of you guys want to comment on this? I know I've been talking a lot of Arc Raiders in the last few shows, but I'm just curious what you guys think about this. Is this kind of the reason why that these criminologists are so baffled by how these people are playing in this game, or is there something else that I'm not thinking about here?
Did they use the words they were so baffled?
Yeah, it was part of the title that
okay.
The criminologist
right.
was baffled why the players were actually being nice to each other in a game where you can shoot people and take their crap. That was the whole.
I know why.
Okay.
It's not baffling to me. Before or after the alpha, they changed the game. They decided to add PVE elements into it.
Yeah.
So I think when the game came out, people started to work together because like you even said, they wanted to take down the big PvE enemies. It's such a big open arena. When you come across a wanderer, it's almost like there's less pressure because there's a greater than 50% chance they will want to work with you, as opposed to a small tight arena where you're like bumping into everyone and you're supposed to shoot everyone and stuff. So I think they just kind of ended up making the game that way, especially when they made those changes around the alpha time. It's almost like, adding those PvE elements in kind of made it so that people would play that way.
Do you think the fact that it's a third-person perspective versus a first-person shooter where you don't have very good peripheral vision, do you think that would add to it, do you think? Or, I mean, I'm just playing solo in Marathon. It was like a horror game, man. I was tiptoeing around.
Well, yes, but that's not just because of first person. There's so many other things in Marathon, like the sound design and the small tight quarters and everything.
It is fantastic.
But I'm telling you, third person, like in Division versus first person in Destiny, that doesn't really make me feel any different with how I play.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be more wanting to team up with someone in one game versus the other.
Yeah. Lots of comments in the chat here. People call me tourist. That's fine. You can call me whatever you want. I'm all about getting my bounties done. I'm all about getting my quests and stuff done. Corey, do you play Carders?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play a whole lot, but I mean, I'll jump in ever so often. It's fun. I like it. I like that kind of post-apocalyptic kind of dystopian world. I like the design. I like the visuals. It's pretty. It's fun. It's just I jumped in and I played a lot of it whenever the Civil War was going on between the Bungalators and everybody else.
That's right. There were streamers.
It got to be.
There was a streamer war.
It got to just be so crazy.
Yeah. I failed to mention that in the last time I talked about it. There were streamers that actually, like Peanut and Stroud, they would have their own, people would have to wear a certain cosmetic. It was just like the Crips and Bloods in LA, where if you were wearing a certain color or a certain thing, you were the enemy. And yeah, the streamer.
For like weeks on end.
Yeah,
and if you were wearing it, then that's when the proc stat came in. So
crazy, man.
Yeah. I tried to play it a good bit there, but I do like kind of where you were coming from, Todd, with the criminologist jumping in and having something to say about it. And I wonder how much of it is actual human psychology.
I'm sure it is. Well,
like that's the big side of it, right? Is like, it's a game where you can kill stuff and you can, shoot people. I wonder how much of it is having the proximity chat and hearing somebody go, no. And then you're like, oh shit, you know what? I'll pick him up. And then you continue on and play, and then you make your little friends in the game and things like that. I wonder how much of that is in fact the case, which I'd be excited to read into that side of it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of psychology here. I think it's a great social experiment. I think the reason why people work together in Arc Raiders is because, one, the Arc enemies will kick your ass. And sometimes, like a matriarch, I can't take a matriarch down myself. I got to have other people helping me. And then, like I said last week, the real PvP in this game is rushing to get that loot once the matriarch falls, getting those queen cores or whatever they're called. I've yet to get one, but running and being the first one there to grab it. And there's people that come in with free kits that are called rats, and they just go in there and wait for you to do all the damage, and then they're right there waiting to jump on and grab shit. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can play PvP without having to even shoot anybody. It's all about who's going to get to the gear. Because I'll be going to like a hospital in Buried City, and I'll see someone's in there. I'm like, oh, okay, you're already here first. Cool, I'm out. And I won't try to fight them or anything. I'll just go to another building because there's plenty of loot. There's plenty of loot everywhere in this game. But let's look at Marathon. There's not a whole lot of loot. Very, very small maps. It's not really big maps. You're really confined to go to these choke points and fight it out if you want to get the good gear. If you want to get into that room with that key card, you got to be able to get there first and then keep everybody out, as well as the PVE enemies, which are pretty tough too. So, Zombie, what do you think, man? Go ahead, Corey. Finish your thought.
Quick question for you, because you had said, you're going to the hospital in the Buried City and there's already somebody there, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
That's where part of that becomes, is it because that there's, good loot or quantifiable amounts of loot across the map that you can go get? Or is it because you don't want to fight the person? And I feel like that's where the big kind of question kind of comes from, is I don't want to have to fight him or her or, however, or I can just go get my loot from this other area. I feel like that's the big portion that's kind of messing with the criminologist on how everything is working and going and that kind of thing.
I'll just give you my perspective here. I don't think they should have added the PvP. I know they added it later in the game because they said the PvE only experience was boring. I think it's total bullshit. I think I could have a lot of fun just shooting leapers and frickin' hornets that are a pain in the ass. Those fireflies are a pain in the ass. They will run you down and just light you up. And no matter how fast you run, they frickin' are right there with you. That alone is enough. You don't need to add another player to be able to shoot you and And, when you're struggling against these, it just seems like a frustrating part of the game. So am totally agnostic when it comes to the PvP in this game. I don't think they should have added it. In fact, my complaint, the reason I play the way I do, is to show Embark with data that they need to have a PvE only mode. And I bet you it's just as fun as people that want to jump into Stella Montes and run people down all day. That's
have you ever played Helldivers?
I played a little bit of it. It's very much no. I compared that. I talked about that last week. I said I think Helldivers was all about doing your part, right? There was a big campaign. That's why that game just hit 200 million really quick, because people love shooting bugs, which I don't know why I didn't get into it more, but there's also robots and stuff. But there was friendly fire. You could shoot mortars and kill some of your team. It was, that was kind of part of it. But for the most part, it was all about you and your buddies against the damn bugs coming at you. Very much Starship Troopers like, which I loved. But yeah, man, see, it was a common cause, right? It's the same feeling I'm getting playing Arc Raiders. It's us against the damn enemies. And what I'm curious about is Arc Raiders is going to make this a 10-year game, supposedly. I'm just curious where they're going to take the storyline, because I've been playing the little side missions, and little by little, I'm getting cutscenes. I'm kind of getting a piece of what's going on, and you can always go back to something Destiny never did. You could always go back and play all the cutscenes back in like a codex if you want to get a refresher of what's going on in the game. So I think the fact that we're all working together and if the enemies were just, if they were just dregs and you just shoot them and they fall over dead and they don't even shoot you, or they're dumb when they shoot you, then I think, yes, PvE only would be boring. But the fact that the PvE is so freaking smart, and something that we've been wanting, Kingsley, in Destiny, is smart enemies. You got smart enemies in Arc Raiders, and I'm telling you that is going to be the future of how they put games or enemies in games these days.
You got smart enemies in a lot of games, not just Arc Raiders.
Exactly. But the machine learning that they've encapsulated in these enemies, and the fact they flail and they're very human-like, you almost feel bad when they start struggling. Like, the Leaper's just trying to hang on with 3 legs, and you're like, damn, maybe I should just let him wander off, but you're like, no, I want the Leaper core. So you finish him off. But I'm just curious, Zombie, I'll let you in here, man. What do you think about all this? What do you think this is? Such a phenomenon.
So I think part of it has to do with the map sizes in each game, because both of them load with like 15 to 20 players each, but the maps are so more massive in Arc Raiders.
Yes.
So you don't push. You can play a whole round and not see a single other player.
Very true.
And in Marathon, they designed the maps that way. So I think the game design itself is more PvP focused in Marathon, whereas it's more PvE focused in Arc Raiders. And adding, but
I mean, also doesn't supposedly you don't get as many rewards killing someone in Arc Raiders versus like a payoff in some other games?
That's true. That's a very good point. You don't get much XP for killing another Raider other than the stuff you get from them, which could be, a lot of people running with free kits, so you don't get shit, or you get very little when they kill somebody, but you could hit the mother load. You could have someone holding Bastion cores or have gold guns and
sure.
And the way I look at it though is like I was telling Amazing Taco King on YouTube is if I can kill them, they're probably not carrying anything I really want.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Amazing Taco King says it's like playing Destiny and just refusing to use anything but primary guns and gray gear. Funny you should say that. We're going to do a zero to hero raid this Saturday. We're going to stream it. I'm looking forward to playing that. I didn't know you guys were doing that. Playing with white guns and white stuff.
It's not official yet. You're jumping the gun a little bit.
Fine. We're hoping to put one together. We got a couple of our members that are going to be out, so we're going to try to mix it up a little bit. And he says, or raiding and refusing to engage with any of the mechanics and being upset when you don't complete an encounter. No, I don't. I disagree, Amazing Taco King. Doing raid mechanics is all part of teamwork, dude. It's all part of teamwork. You got to do your job on the mechanic, and it really has nothing to do with shooting your teammates. And he says Arc bots are fake smart, though. They are very easy to exploit. Yes, and that's another thing, too, is every enemy has a weak spot. And once you know where it is, you know where to shoot them, wait for them to go a certain direction, show their back rotors, because they're all like, they're all like a lot of flying stuff, a lot of crawling stuff, like spider-like and stuff. So yeah, I agree. Once you get it, I'm telling you a year from now, I don't care if I'm max level or whatever, I'm still going to have so much fun shooting a leaper. I love fighting leapers, man. The fireflies, not so much because they're a pain in the ass and they will not give up on you. And even a bombardier, I was fighting a bombardier the other day, and you have to frickin' serpentine and go walk at angles. Otherwise, you will just get knocked out in 2 shots. Things like that, man. That is what Destiny is, man. When you're shooting that big boss in the raid or you're that yellow bar centurion, you got to take him out quickly. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about doing your job and knocking that stuff out. Those big boss fights, that's what brings me back to my gaming in the 80s, man. When you would play these video games in the arcade and you got to the final boss, man, and you're like, how am I going to kill this thing, man? This thing looks enormous, but somehow repetition, getting your reps in, you figured it out how to do it. And when you finally kill him, you're like, fuck yeah. You're like, I'm going to be back to do the next boss next after I put $25 worth of quarters in this machine. So, but yeah, I'm having a good time playing Arc Raiders. And the fact that this neurologist and this criminologist are wanting to study this social behavior, I think it really comes down to common cause. I think the fact that the game really didn't include PvP originally, like you said, Kingsley, and the fact that the rewards are more slanted toward working together as a team for like a matriarch or a queen or even a bastion or a bombardier or whatever it may be. All the enemies, to me, you cannot take for granted, or they will, they'll knock your ass out. So I'm loving it. Some comments in the Discord here. Mohawk Angel says, I prefer to play my PvP elsewhere, playing Marvel Rivals religiously, enjoy Rainbow Six, and also Destiny PvP. I don't play many PvE games, but I really enjoy PvE of Raiders. I know. There's something about it. And you know what Arc Raiders feels like to me? It feels like I'm playing a Battlefield game where I don't have to shoot anybody else. I can just explore the maps and kill the other enemies, the AI stuff. But Battlefield was other players.
I don't know. To me, it's obvious they made the game more PvE focused, so that's why people are playing that way.
Yeah. And you can go through an entire round without shooting any arc as well.
That's true.
You can literally just not shoot anything and just go loot stuff. And
that brings me
back. You have to work together to, there's just, all they needed to do was ask the developers why people are playing that way.
Yeah.
That brings me back to my days of playing stealth games as Snake, trying to get through areas and get your missions done and, get the data out of the secret room without alerting anybody. It reminds me of that too. And I've had games where I'm like, I won't shoot a thing. I'll never get injured or anything because I'm just very smart and tactical about how I move around the maps. And now I'm starting to learn the maps. I'm really having fun playing because now I have the map knowledge. But I'm telling you, I put 170 hours in this game now. I still don't know every nook and cranny of these maps. They're just so freaking big. Anyway. So.
And another cool point about why it's so sad we've lost some things in Destiny is the whole fact that public events have gotten worse over the years. Can you imagine if we had them better to a level of almost Arc Raider these days where we're working together?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like raid mechanics working together. I'm talking about just randos you're working with. Imagine going public events, some crazy bosses come out that you can actually do with randos, and you even want to do a proximity chat, and you're like, let's work on this together. Let's get that'd be so cool if Destiny had that.
We actually had a question from the Discord tonight we'll answer, and it'll address a lot of that too. So we'll probably revisit that topic. So, all right, I've said my piece. Thank you for listening, guys, and putting up with yet another Arc Raider story. I don't know, man. I'm just loving this game. I'm just giving it its due because it gives me a lot of early Destiny vibes when I play it. So, all right, let's chill and catch up and see what everybody's been doing when we return. Hey, Guardian, our show runs on Duncan. I mean, it's supported by our community. And by that, I mean our Patreon community. We're nearly 100 strong now. And if you want to join an awesome group of people and get the benefits like a private channel with myself and Kingsley Mac and all of our other Patreon members out there, not to mention special badges in our Discord community, years of behind the scenes, special audio and video episodes just for our patrons, and it's really simple. Just go to GuardianDownCast.com and hit that Patreon button to find out more. You can also join us for free, so what do you got to lose? If you've received any value from the show today, keep those corporate sponsors out of our podcast by simply joining our awesome community at patreon.com patreon.com/support Guardian Downcast. Later, Guardians. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of our show we just catch up and see what our co-hosts have been doing since we talked with them last. And it's been a long time, Corey, since I've talked with you, man. Fill me in, man. I know it's been quite a while, but kind of catch us up on what's been going on in your life, man. What are you playing? What are you enjoying right now? How's the podcast going? All that stuff.
Yeah. Podcast kind of took a back seat when it first came about. It was, and I had talked about it with you on the episode, there was so many people wanted to talk sports.
Yeah.
But because it's a gaming community, there were so many people who were like, hey, I don't watch football. Can you guys go to another channel? Can you do this or that or the third? So, there's this thing called the OWL sector that a lot of us remember that didn't really have a place for sports people to hang out and kind of BS and talk, and without taking away from the video game aspect of stuff. So when we started it, we were like, hey, well, we're going to do it for, just a football season. And then I was like, hey, we're getting some good feedback, dude. We could probably do it for post NFL. We could do it for some other stuff. And then it kind of turned out to be the fact of life just after the NFL is, Cody was still getting into hockey pretty well. So getting that stuff figured out. And then neither one of us really watching baseball too terribly much. And then it was just like we had the four nations. We had the Winter Olympics, and we had the baseball classic. And
it's a lot to keep up.
A whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it was. So where we had very high aspirations for the first year of it, and we're keeping up with stuff. So hopefully in the second year of it, we can do a lot better. Yeah. But outside of that, I mean, it's been great. Life and things like that is just work.
I think you mentioned fiance. Yeah, fiance back in November
last year. November 2nd of last year. Nice. I asked my girlfriend of about 2.5 years to marry me. Thank God she said yes. I don't know why. I'm ugly. She's beautiful. But hey, we all
marry up, dude. We all marry up.
Yep. Brother, I fucking married up.
Nice, man. Congrats.
I am marrying up. Sorry.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. We got a wedding is planned for December of this year.
Okay.
Got some room to invite some guys. So the guys I hang out with the most, the guys I talk to the most, Rodimus is planning on coming. PP Pipe is planning on coming as the +1 to another gentleman over there in DPS, Mr. Toll the Bell. So have some of the Discord friends. Cody, of course, Coderson will be there. Big things with that. And like I said, just work video game wise, it's been a lot of Battlefield.
Nice.
I loved Battlefield 4. I didn't like what they did with Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5.
Yep.
Really, really enjoyed Battlefield 6, like a whole hell of a lot. I played Pragmata, however you say it.
Pragmata.
That new Sony. Yeah, Pragmata. I played that. Finished it. If that game doesn't win Game of the Year, I'm going to fight everyone who did not vote for that to be Game of the Year. That game was fantastic. It was so good.
Dude, man, that makes me want to play it now. That's a fourth person who's told me I love this game.
It's so fucking good. If you do not have kids and you play the game, you're going to get baby fever. It's going to happen because it's like, it's so cool. There's a little bit of a tie over from him having a daughter and then him having a daughter, almost realistically, and this little girl. And it's just, there's so much about it. I love it. It was a great game. But yeah, did that. Like I said, a lot of Battlefield and just kind of dilly-dallying, flipping around and playing other random stuff that kind of pops up that I'm like, I'll try it, or I haven't played it in years, I do it that way. Rainbow Six Siege, I got back into that a little bit. I've been playing up some of that. I'm god-awful terrible at it, but The Division is a big one, waiting for that to become cross-platform. They said it was going to be in the first part of 2026. It hasn't been yet, but waiting
They didn't say that. That was
I don't.
Fake news,
first
man.
and foremost,
Fake news.
Mr. I have receipts for everything. All right.
Show them to me. I have receipts too. They said it was coming out within the year. They never said at the beginning of the year.
Exactly. With year 8, they said it was coming out. And then if you go and you type in cross-platform, Division 2, Google, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of it says it was coming in April. I didn't say April.
So
they said it was coming in the
said
first half.
Okay, yeah.
I gave you 3 different AI tools right there.
Yeah.
Well,
They all said it was coming in the
AI
first
isn't
half.
always accurate in previous shows.
Sometimes
True.
Sometimes
Yeah,
AI.
I've heard those.
Sometimes AI will take bad information and
I was watching the actual
stream
that the developer said with their own words. It's coming out sometime within year 8.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and that's what I'm getting to. Is I want that. That's what I'm. That's what I'm so desperately waiting for. That game is so good. There's so much replayability to it. There's so much fucking build crafting to it. There's so much everything. You can.
It is a
world
true
tiers.
looter shooter, Todd. You will love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you would absolutely love it. There's. As soon as this cross-platform hits, it's gonna be what takes over my life.
Wow, really?
I'm not gonna play anything else.
Division 2?
I loved it from the beginning. Yeah, Division 1 was great. Division 2 is fantastic.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I am waiting for this to happen because, again, I said it earlier, I'm on PlayStation. Everybody in DPS minus 1 or 2, they're all on PC. The 1 or 2 are on Xbox, and I can't play with them. So when it happens, it's going to be great. The game's going to open up so much more. Their raids, you guys think that Destiny 2 raid mechanics are tough? At times even. Good luck.
I remember doing raids.
Doing Division
I remember
2.
doing raids in Division 1, and it was hard. It's like, man, there was like a gunfight in a close quarter room. I'm like, man, there's so much shit going on right now.
Division 2, they ramped it up. They turned it down to 11.
Yeah, don't compare to Division 1. Division 2 is fully
all right. Yeah, never played Division 2. I played Division 1.
So
I didn't play 2. Yeah,
it's fun. It's gonna be great. I'm waiting for it. Outside of that,
fine. I'm gonna just now. Wait a minute now. So I can't cross play. So
no.
Where's everybody playing Division 2? Is it on console? On
PC?
PC right now. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Hit up Rodimus.
Please tell me
hit up the DPS boys.
Please tell me there's controller support.
I play it.
Yes.
Okay,
oh my gosh. Todd, every game on PC has controller support.
Right.
I've told you that for years too.
Okay. All right.
You can join their Discord. I'll invite you to it right now.
I'll get it on Steam. I'll go ahead and put it in my library.
When do you think crossplay will come? My guess is in the fall because that's when the DLC comes out. I bet that's crossplay then.
That's my thought as well. It's probably going to be the fall. I was hoping for it to be with the drop of the new incursion in the new season and stuff right here at the end of April. That didn't happen, but I'm still holding out. I'm waiting for it. I've been waiting for it for so long.
Okay.
I've been waiting for it for so long. When the DPS boys, when they started playing it, they gave me shout outs during their podcast saying, oh, hey, Sith was the one who got us to play this game and we love it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, guys, I just can't wait till we can play together. And everything at the time that we were seeing was like 27, 28 potentially. And then it turned around and it was like, no, hey, it could be here as early as 26. And I think I pooped my pants. I was so excited.
There's only one problem to this equation. We got the June update coming in Destiny 2. And then what's coming after that?
Maybe
GTA.
That's why I told you to do Division last month.
Well, I'm going to talk about my game of the month. I'm going to let everybody else talk first.
You say the June update like it's going to be.
But I'm still going to.
Yeah,
we'll see. Go ahead, Todd. What do you been
I think
up to?
we have a bigger issue here. You have to decide if you have time for a game of the month or if you just.
I think I'm going to change it to Todd's main game. I've already changed it in the channel. I just don't. I can't do a game a month. That's just not my style. Exactly. I like to jump in and play, get really down into a game. So, Todd, what have you been up to, man? Bring us up to speed.
Playing the
Is it to it?
Yeah. Their spring event, man. It's happening.
Okay.
Have you fought the big bosses after the different world tier bosses? The Hagokis or whatever the hell they are. The Ronin. There you go.
Oh yeah.
I
got that. Yeah, the Ronins getting the keys and stuff. Yeah. I got all the whole freaking thing. I did not donate the 80 keys though. because I just couldn't get them to spawn fast enough. But yeah, Division 2 work.
Gotcha.
Fun stuff. I jumped into a Friday night raid last week with Kingsley and a couple
Was
others.
that the 0 to hero?
No, we didn't do 0 to hero on it.
That was Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously missed a Saturday night raid because my youngest daughter is doing travel softball.
Yeah, that could be involved.
That's more fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been through that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's that phase.
But,
all right, man.
Living life.
And killing the carpenter bees, from what I hear. Hey, by the way, Corey, are you still in the pest management business? You still doing that?
Yeah.
In Colorado, right?
Yeah.
What's the big deal in Colorado right now? Do you guys ever get any bugs over there?
Yeah.
The rodents.
We like a rodents, like a son of a gun.
Okay.
Kind of what's going on in the world right now, and kind of there are 78 confirmed cases in the last 10 years of hunter virus in Colorado.
Yeah.
But it's not the cool guy Andes or whatever it is. So it's a lot of rodents up here. It's a lot of spiders pretty much year round, a lot of ants.
Yeah, ants.
Summertime yellow jackets, paper wasps.
Yeah. Ants are the bane of in the world right now.
It's pavement ants are the worst fucking thing.
How do you kill a pavement ant, dude? I've tried everything. I've even tried fipronil. It doesn't get rid of them.
We just so we have a probe. So we just fill the backpacks up with like water. If it's empty, we'll fill it up with water.
You're drowning them?
It's gonna go on the ground anyway. Yeah,
seriously,
drown them out.
No way.
Can't. It's a garden probe that hits the quick release.
I've got one.
It hits the quick release.
I bought one.
Yeah, and then you just find wherever you can. In Colorado, everything shifts and
You're just using pyrethrins?
Like for the gaps and stuff.
You're just using pyrethrins?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like bifin and things like that. We'll just right down inside the ant and kill it.
I got to try that. Yeah, exactly.
The difference is though, is you guys have a lot more. You guys have a lot more oxygen down there, so y'all's ants are different, right?
Well,
I had somebody who just moved up here from Missouri, and they were like, "Our yellow jackets are the size of your fist."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Our yellow jackets here are the size of like a regular honeybee."
Yeah,
but the problem is those nests. You run into one, it's not 15 or 20; it's 35 to 40. And they're like, "Oh, this is the worst." I'm like, they have little man syndrome. They're so pissy all the time. Like it's it's tough. Summer's coming and we're ready for it.
I was just curious if you still did it because I remember we talked a long time ago that you were in the business too. Nice.
Yep, still doing it. Mr.
Kingsley Mack, what's going on in your life this week, man?
Yeah. Trying to get you to play Division 2.
I'm gonna play it. Damn it. I'll talk. I'll say my piece after you. Go ahead.
Look, the reason, because I know you pretty well. I told you probably wouldn't be into marathon, and sure enough, I was right.
Eventually.
The thing I know about Division is you will like the looter shooter loop that it has that's similar to Destiny.
Okay.
Yes, Arc Raiders is good. There's a lot of things you're hunting down, but like more of the actual looter shooter, like lots of weapons and collecting this and that. And it's a game that you can play a lot solo and you can play a lot with friends. It's good both ways.
Did you say my favorite word, solo?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know I could play solo. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, come on.
That's
seriously.
That's what I mostly do is solo.
With the crew.
I didn't know. I thought it was a co-op shooter. I didn't know it was a solo game.
No.
It's been so long.
You can do either way. Yeah.
Okay.
Up to 4, yeah.
Okay.
It's even when you get to the point of like it being, hey, I've completed all the story missions. Hey, I've done all of this, that, and the third. There's still other in-game stuff outside of raids that you can do.
Okay.
Like once you get into doing the hunters and shit like that, you jump into the skyscraper and start doing that. Like it gets, there's a lot more post in-game. That's
all right. So how many hours?
Matchmaking?
Yeah. How many hours is the campaign, you think, for just a casual playthrough?
Okay, are you doing regular campaign, or are you doing all the way through Battle for Brooklyn?
Just regular campaign on regular difficulty.
If you do it on just normal run through, having a background in having a background in looter shooters, you could probably do it in 6 to 8.
6 to 8 hours? That's it?
You rush through it, yeah.
Okay.
If you rush it.
There's more to do.
See, I want to play Diablo too, but dude, there's just not enough time, man.
Yeah, like 6 to 8 if you rush it, but if you slow down and you kind of do it, and then it's like, hey, there's a side mission. That's the other thing with Division is like you'll be doing the main mission, and then there's a side mission over here, and you're like, I'm going to do the main mission. Yeah. If you do the side mission, a lot of times it's a weird caveat to the mission you just did or the mission that's coming up.
Okay.
So if you kind of do it like that, man, you're looking at 25, 30.
That's about right.
And that's just the regular game. Yeah. And then you've got Warlords, Battle for Brooklyn, like that's.
And it's based in New York City? New York City?
No, most of it's Washington, D.C., but one of the DLCs is New York, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, both of the DLCs are New York.
I'm going to look into it. I'll tell you why when it's my turn to talk, but go ahead, Kingsley. What else you been doing, man? Other than trying to get me to play Division 2.
I know. Like, see, I just know that you'll like it. That's the thing. So it's whether just you make it a priority or not. But, I jest because we're just having everyone on tonight that loves Division, including me. Yeah. But honestly, I'm playing a lot more Diablo because a big DLC came out. And not much else to say about that other than last week. I'm still enjoying it tons. Getting into the super end game. I'm kind of hovering around Torment 6, Torment 7, and Torment 10's kind of basically the top. I mean, you could technically go to Torment 12 or whatever, but like that's more like for LOLs, it's not, you don't need to be there for kind of doing most stuff in the game, but such a fun build crafting game. I do think you would like Diablo also. Okay. I'm just being fair. I think you would like Division more. Now, Diablo, you don't have to play it this way, but it plays better with the different seasons. I mean, you could just play the campaign and give an experience based on that. But if you want to get into endgame, it's a whole different thing for Division, a whole different thing for Diablo, a whole different thing for any game. And Diablo endgame, I think you would like too. It feels so clean compared to a lot of other looter shooter games.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a looter shooter. This is an ARPG, but you get lots of loot. The thing that's nice about this game Diablo I've mentioned before, it feels very clean. It doesn't seem as like, even though it is confusing with a million different end games and builds and things you put together, you learn it pretty quickly and it feels like not as overwhelming as some other games. And then you really kind of get into this loop where you're like, oh yeah, well, this is what I know I need to do to get more loot and to build out and stuff. And because of that top-down feel, some people think it's very limited, but I was skeptical at first too when I first started the first Diablo way back in the day, but it's so encompassing. You don't feel that way when you get into it, and tons of different build crafts and loot and everything like that.
All right, convinced.
Other than that, I do want to mention again a little bit about the Zero to Hero raid on Wednesday. Had a lot of fun. We kind of threw out the idea. I know I was pushing for it too, of like, I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of like wanting to do Zero to Hero all the time, but I've only done it maybe 4 or 5-ish times total. And anyone who knows me, I get kind of bored of Vault of Glass raid. I think it's kind of Vault of Ass. You know what I mean? I get why it's a beginner raid and it's one for people to start on, but I was like, if we're going to do Vault of Glass Zero to Hero, then we actually have something we're going to have fun with.
Can you explain that? In case people don't know what you mean by Zero to Hero.
For anyone who doesn't know what that is when you start off the raid, you can only use white gear. Now, the one exception is heavy. There is no white, so you can pull a green piece of gear. But you have to use a white primary, white secondary, and white armor. Like you were starting the game from day one, but then we're going into a raid.
Jeez.
Now, when you get drops, this is where what made it fun. I actually cared about loot again.
Yeah, because you need it.
You get an armor piece. Even armor pieces, you get an armor piece. I can actually do stats now and mods.
Because the game knows your true power. You get like, bam. Yeah.
Because white gear has no mod slots, white armor. So, so you learn to work with what you have. And it's also really good for us to see a good reminder of how absurdly overpowered we are in the game right now with abilities and with weapons. When you do a Zero to Hero Vault of Glass, it is much more similar to doing like an original Vault of Glass in Destiny 1 when it was actually hard, because we're dealing with just basic weapons. None of this like, I have a rocket sidearm that can shoot 1,000,000 miles away and it acts like a rocket launcher. No, you have to rely on scout, sniper, auto, SMG, and the true archetypes of like, none of these are going to be super powerful compared to all my legendaries and exotics, but I need to use the right archetype for how close the enemies are and make it work. Right. And you actually have to focus more on
that. Sounds fun.
Shooting enemies correctly and making it work. So, and it can actually be a little hard at times. The Templar is a little bit hard. It can be hard to one phase it, and also Atheon's not bad. The biggest issues is ammo. I really recommend you use a scout and a sniper if you're shooting the oracles, but
right.
There's things, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
We also took Panda through, I'm just going to jump in here. We also took Panda through a Desert Perpetual for his first run. He did really good, man. He grasped those encounters really quick. So,
well, if you don't remember, he's always been an awesome player that.
Yeah. He's always been a top tier player.
He would always also Sherpa.
Yeah. He took me through my
dungeons
first,
and then a little bit of raids too. Yeah.
He took me through my first. Can't remember which one, but yeah, he's really good.
And he had a lot of fun in that. I mean, we still love the Desert Perpetual raid. It's one of the top raids in Destiny. Mm-hmm. So, kind of again, a shame that they did lose players in the most recent year, because just taking it objectively, whether you like the game or not, and if you've ever raided and enjoy raids at any capacity, Desert Perpetual is one of the best raids out there. And it's just a shame it came at a time when not as many people are playing and a lot of people stepped away from the game.
Yeah, true.
But we love that raid. We have a lot of fun in that.
It's fun raid.
That's about it for me.
Okay. I'm going to start off with a movie review. My wife and I went to see Devil Wears Prada 2. Don't judge me. It's been nearly 20 years since the first one came out. So we did see it in the Dolby Theater. It's a pretty upbeat movie. The usual characters, have new roles, so to speak. And the evil Miranda, the boss of the Runway magazine, she's facing kind of a crisis, and how she handles it, points more to a hero than the usual blunt personality she has. But the movie's grossed over $233 million in its opening week. That's rare for a box office at the theater these days. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 78%, IMDb a 6.8. Let me just say this. If you're looking for a quirky, feel-good female empowerment movie, and more importantly, it's a date movie with your significant other or a girlfriend or a fiance, Corey, go see it. It's a feel-good movie. You're going to feel good afterwards. As a dude that likes more masculine movies, to me, it was okay. I'm not crapping on the film or anything, but it was just okay. I mean, it was entertaining. So I'm going to give it a pretty conservative 3 stars on that, because pretty predictable storyline, but it's meant to be a feel-good movie. So don't judge it too harshly. But it was nice to see all the characters come back. Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway. And so it was pretty cool to see. Mr. Stanley Tucci, he played a really good role too. So like I said, I've been playing Arc Raiders. That's been my game. My obsession, I guess you could say. My biggest thing I've been trying to work on is getting all of the side missions done, because I was always hoping it would unlock some of the blueprints and some of the things that I don't have yet. And I'm trying to figure out, I was really disappointed because it only tops out at level 75. And I was kind of let down. I thought it was like 130 for some reason, but when I hit max of 75, I've unlocked all the cards. I've got all the cosmetics and stuff that they offered and all the stuff you can get with your rep score. I don't really care about the bounties anymore, because rep doesn't mean much anymore, and it maxes out at 800. So what I'll do usually is just buy stuff from one of the vendors with my rep, like some keys or something that I need to play the game. But still, to this day, I still just like jumping in to just see what I get when I open that drawer. What's gonna come out? Is it gonna be a blueprint? Is it gonna be could it be a gold gun? I mean, you just never know. That's the fun part about Arc Raiders, is you just never know. You're pulling the slot machine every time you're opening up a drawer or prying open a box. So I'm having a lot of fun playing that. I'm playing the new Riven's Tide DLC. I think it's really good. The beach environment's kind of fresh. I mean, because most of these environments are very industrial and like residential, and it was nice to have a hotel and tennis courts and a beachfront area and like a port authority where there's a bunch of containers you can go through. You can spend a whole round just going through the containers and port authority. It's pretty cool. I did start playing Crimson Desert the other night. I jumped in to play the initial tutorial, and I got stuck. I went through all the fight scenes and stuff, and I'll be honest, the controls are clunky as hell. After coming back from playing Arc Raiders and jumping into this Crimson Desert game, I was really disappointed. You had to kind of focus where you're jumping with the control buttons, and I'm like, what is all this? It looks like
Wait, why are you giving a review when you haven't played that much of it yet?
I'm not reviewing it yet, but I got stuck. I was jumping the platforms, and I got stuck where I'm trying to bend the light with my sword I don't know if it was bugged or what, but I sat there for 25 minutes.
It's not bugged.
I sat there for 25 minutes. I could not figure out where I'm trying to aim the light. And I finally just said, you know what? I'm going back to play Arc Raiders. I was really kind of disappointed. So hopefully you'll help me get through that part, because I think it'll be a really fun game once I get through the initial mission. I just need to get help. I guess I need help.
Do the missions, just explore and have fun. You know? But if you want help with that mission, I can.
I just need to know what I'm doing wrong, because it's just freaking me out. But because I wanted to really jump in and at least put an hour or two in, to at least get my feet wet in it. And I'm still planning on doing that. So I think I'm pretty much had my fill of Arc Raiders. I'm moving on to Crimson Desert now, but man, is it clunky. It is clunky. You can definitely tell an independent studio made this game, because the controls are not native. They don't flow as well as some of these more highly produced games. And it's going to take a lot to get used to. And I know I can remap some of the buttons, but I'm trying to figure out what I would remap, because just the way the mechanics are is a little confusing.
I wouldn't say it's clunky. I would say there's so much more you do. It's not as basic of a game. You're busier. Definitely busier. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my week. I've been working like crazy. 96 today, guys. 90. It felt like Arizona today. 96 degrees. There was a slight breeze. There's a high over Florida, which would mean there's not a cloud in the sky. So there's nothing to shade the soil. There's nothing to shade the sun. It was just like, I literally felt like I was like heading to Vegas. But yeah, that's pretty much my week. Hey, Guardians, if you would like to ask us a question for the show, head over to guardiandowncast.com to send us a voicemail or email us with your question. However, the best way to send us a question is to write it out in our podcast questions channel in our Discord community. You can access it on the Discord app on your phone or on the web. It's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. Don't think about it. Just do it. Do it right now. The links are in our show notes. Later, Guardians. Hey, let's jump in and get some questions here. We had some in the Discord here. I'm going to leave the Discord chat for just a sec here, guys, so I can pull up questions. And we did have some good questions this week. I want to make sure we at least answered a few of them here before we go. Okay. First question is from Deadpool and Merc. Question for Gator. I thought Crimson Desert was your game for April, so why have you been grinding Arc Raiders? I think you know why I've been grinding Arc Raiders. And I've already changed it. It's not going to be game of the month. It's just going to be Gator's main game. That's what the channel says. But I'm jumping into Crimson Desert. In fact, okay, but I'm curious though, if you don't give it will you still give a game at least a month? Or will you give up like hours in?
No, I think a good 30 hours is what I need to put into Crimson Desert to at least understand what the game's about. And even if I don't want to finish it or not, I want to put the good 30 hours in to understand. And that's going to take.
I mean, maybe not put that much time.
I know, but I'm putting in probably a couple hours at night before I go to bed. So no, it's not going to be just 3. I mean, I gave Marathon, I think 18 to 20 hours before I just finally just realized the game wasn't for me. But yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why, Deadpool. I actually revisited Arc Raiders because I didn't give it enough time when it was my first game of the month. And I'm just coming back and revisiting. I want to make sure I'm fully enjoying the game. So Blaze of Glory, a new member in our Discord, by the way. Welcome. He says, is anyone looking forward to any specific games later this year? It feels like there is a ton of interesting releases coming, and I'm curious what everyone is genuinely excited for, whether it's a huge AAA title or an indie game flying under the radar or something nostalgic making a comeback. The obvious one for me is GTA 6. Do you think there are any games that have been released or have yet to be released that can compete with GTA 6 this year for Game of the Year? Well, I think Corey said it. It was going to be the dad shooter, right?
Yeah, GTA 6 will get it because people are children.
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Who determines the judging on the Game of the Year? I'm curious, on the Game Awards. Is it general population? Well, I'm curious.
I don't know.
Based on sales, maybe.
Sales, maybe? Okay. Well, that's definitely a no-brainer.
But yeah, it's a good point. There's two different questions here. And as far as the game of the year thing, I hope also it's not GTA 6, even though I'm going to play that. I mean, it should be Pragmata or probably Resident Evil or something to that nature, not GTA 6 just by default. Annoying.
Any games you guys are looking forward to besides GTA 6 or?
Amazing Taco King's. Sorry.
No, you.
Fable.
Yeah, Fable.
I don't know if that's coming out this year, but definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think Danger said we'll be colonizing the moon before GTA 6 gets here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, I guess. What about you, Corey, Kingsley? Are you guys looking forward to any games coming up around the bend here?
Most of my games already came out. I already kind of knew the first half of this year I was looking more forward to than the second half.
Yeah.
I know that may still change if we get more announcements. And I am interested in Fable and GTA 6, but Resident Evil, Pragmata, Diablo expansion, Division stuff, I've been doing tons that I've been looking forward to. There's one more. We finally got the release date for but it's just a remake, but still I'm looking forward to the Black Flag, in June, but that's coming up soon.
Oh yeah.
But it'll really be interesting to see what the second half brings other than GTA and maybe Fable. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else might come out.
Yeah, Amazing Taco King says it's speculated autumn of this year as of now for Fable.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
yeah.
I see that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you, Corey? Anything you're looking forward to coming out, playing?
More or less, at this point, it's really the Division.
Okay.
Just getting the cross-platform side of things. I kind of looked a little bit ahead. The Final Fantasy in August is going to be a port. I'm excited for that one. Marvel's Wolverine looks pretty fun.
Okay.
I want to say that was September, I think.
Okay.
A really big one is Star Wars Galactic Racer. It's entirely a pod racing game. I'm a little pumped for that, not gonna lie. I could give two shits about Grand Theft Auto.
It's amazing.
Go do it in real life and then come talk to us.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
I'm curious how the graphics are going to be any different than 5. As 5, the graphics were okay, but that game is so old, man. I'm curious to see how the graphics have improved. And they're probably only going to sell it to consoles for the first year, I'm sure, like they've always done. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's going to be 15-year-old kids who are going to play it, and they're going to think that they're cool, and they're going to do it. It's just everybody's going to jump on it and want to play it because they're, a big streamer, and that's going to help drive things up. And
sure,
sales aren't the only thing that goes into Game of the Year. I don't think with the success of Grand Theft Auto 4 and then the success of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 6 shouldn't get it based off of sales. I don't think that's the only prerequisite for Game of the Year, but I don't know. It's not my style of game. I don't like it. I have a very strong opinion about that style of game that I will not lay out here, but it is what it is. It's going to be a fun game for those who play it, and that's cool. And it's going to overshadow a lot of other games that come out this year. And that's going to be what makes me a little upset.
It's going to be a desert wasteland of other games. Everyone's going to be steering clear of GTA 6, I'm afraid. People have already
nobody wants to come out in November.
Exactly. Sky Guy 12 has a question for us. I think he's a new member as well, or she. I just want to start by saying I'm a brand new to the Discord. I'm excited to be a part of the Guardian Down cast community. Thank you. Guardian Down Roundtable now. I've been listening for about a year now, and I just love what you guys do. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening, man. I've been playing the original Destiny with friends of mine recently, and we've had a blast doing it some 10 or 12 years later now. And me too, with you, man. My question for the show is, has there been a game that you've come back to after years of not playing it, and did you enjoy it or not? Thank you. What? Vision 2, I think, is one of those answers, right?
Yep. That's pretty solid answer.
I never stopped playing the Division 2. I just stopped talking about it.
Other game
I loved it that much.
I mean, I keep coming back to Destiny. I haven't played Destiny 1 in a long time.
No, you would have to leave for like a year or more to count for what he's saying.
Yeah, I all I did was play Destiny. I mean, I was literally just a Destiny player. I'm very much like Necromancer. It's Destiny only. And that for a long time, that was me. So I guess I can't answer this question, but about you, Kingsley? Any different answer?
Oh, definitely. I mean, sorry, what was the first part of the question, or is there only one?
I know
part
he
of the
just talks
question?
about how he's joined the community. He's loved us for a year now, and he played Destiny for 10 to 12 years, like most of us.
Oh,
did.
yes. Okay.
And is there a game you want to come back to after you haven't played in a while, after years of not playing it?
Yeah. I'll answer the game thing first, but I do think it's interesting, the other point he made, because it's actually kind of a trend right now. But anyways, for me, the basic example is the Assassin's Creed games like Black Flag, even before the remake, Odyssey. It's fun to go back and play those again, and I've still enjoyed them. And there's lots of games I would go back and play, like Tomb Raider games, like any exploration game if I've been away long enough. And that brings up the point exactly about Destiny 1. I've done that several times. And I always knew that there was a small underground group of people doing it, but it is hit, and it's still a very small number of people because Destiny 2 is down in general, and then only a small subgroup of that has it on PlayStation or Xbox. But let me tell you, a lot of streamers and a lot of people I'm talking to, not just like McMaximo and stuff, there is a huge resurgence of people playing Destiny 1 right now compared to how it has been. And I find that really interesting. And I get it. It makes sense because nothing's going on in Destiny 2, but I don't know why all of a sudden, but I'm all for it. I jumped in after the raid with McMaximo and did a bunch of old strikes and things in Destiny 1. I'm like, yep, this is good still, even though the graphics aren't as good.
Can you imagine if they made or why am I keep forgetting this word? But Remastered. Thank you, Todd.
Yes.
Remastered this game for PC and for the newest consoles. I think people would jump on that game.
Yeah.
I really would. That'd be a no-brainer for Sony. Too bad Bluepoint's not around.
Yeah, I know. I was a little against the idea at first because I'm like, it would probably take away from like doing a new game. But geez, if that's the only option right now, with how many people have been enjoying going back, I think it would be a hit actually to bring everything back. Yep.
I mean, that would be a smart thing to do. And let's just say with the new AI technology and new engine or whatever, maybe let's say they can do a Destiny 3 in 3 years like Arc Raiders did.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. That's holding.
Destiny would hopefully be bigger than Arc Raiders.
Yeah, I understand. Arc Raiders is pretty big. I would play a lot of Destiny 1. Man, I had the best memories from I just hung around the worlds in Destiny 1. They were so awesome. I remember being on Venus and looking up and seeing the acid rain fall on my goggles and stuff. It was just the coolest thing, man. Going into the old school areas and stuff. I can't remember what they called it, but I'd love to relive all that. Definitely. I would definitely be in playing all the missions again. Be so much fun.
I have talked to a couple people, and I don't know if this is enough for a business model for them, but in the community, again, I'm fair. Like this may not be enough to make it worth it for them, but I've talked to friends that have never played Destiny 1 and they only have a PC and they're like, I would play Destiny 1 if it came to PC.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah. Thanks, Sky Guy 12. Welcome to the community, man. Thank you for your question. I love these new members putting questions in, man. I'm loving hearing this. So thank you. Appreciate you. Finally, Danger Powers has a question. He says, there's a question for Sit Daddy Fresh. Can you please find out if Todd was the one who caused the bot uprising in the Space Mafia Discord? We had him on DPS a few weeks ago, and the next thing you know, we had a bot problem. Coincidence? Hard to say.
I will say that every time DPS runs into an issue with a bot, I also get the notifications for GDR getting a bot, and it's a little too close. So am I going to point blame? No, but am I going to say that it might be? Yeah.
Hey, I might have clicked on some links when I was more naive to Discord back in the day. Maybe there's a bot still trailing me.
I remember that.
I remember
that.
I hit the, oh my God, think of my friends list. I mean, everybody every channel got oh my God, it was such a nightmare. That's the first time I realized that people could really get in. I think one of my accounts was hacked one time and
it wasn't hacked. You let them in by clicking the link.
Jeez. Yeah, I learned the hard way, but we had one more question here from the original Jimmy from the Discord. He says, Yo, I got a question for the show. What price do you think GTA 6 launch will be? And it will be a paradigm shift for other developers because their games will be measured in comparison to GTA 6 and its price to content ratio. There's a lot of buzz around the GTA 6 pricing and its influence on the industry, at least in my bubbles. What do you guys think? What price
I don't really care, but
Really?
I do think they will actually. I know there's the rumors of 80 or 100 or whatever.
I hear too.
I think there's a greater than 50% chance they're going to keep it right around 70. I just think that even though they can go higher, psychologically, it may be a stupid move to do so. And it might actually be smarter for like a medium-sized AAA game to do it first. If anyone, not saying anyone should, but I just don't know that they should be the ones to do it. So if they're smart, they will actually get a little bit more, 5% better grace if they keep it lower, 60, 70, something like that, and then get more. They'll still make enough money because then more people will buy it.
Of course. But with a $1 to $2 billion investment initially for this game, that's just amazing, man. That kind of money being spent. Nuts. I mean, all the promotion and stuff as well. Let's go with one Destiny question here. And then Dadbod, I got your question, man. I got your comments here. I think that might be something we might want to talk about next week because we're going to have more information about the June update next week. So I'm going to save your question for next week, brother. I do appreciate you putting some feedback there, though. This is from Deadpool1 Merc. He says, if Sony were to shut down Destiny, what do you think would happen? For example, do you think players would stop supporting Sony's future games? Or what do you think would happen? Anybody wants to answer, just jump in.
What would you guys do? I know what I would do, but yeah, I'm curious.
If Sony shut...
Yeah. Good, Zombie Todd. Yeah.
if they shut down Destiny like right now, I mean, I don't really buy into companies anyway. If they put out something I want to play, they'll play it. If they don't, I'm not going to. They have to make a business decision based on their business. I get it. I understand it's the way it works. Am I going to be upset about it? Probably, but right now I'm playing Destiny once, twice a week, maybe. So,
yeah, I'm too pragmatic like that too. I'd be upset, but I would still play another Sony game if it's a game I like.
Yeah, I own a PlayStation 5 Pro.
I just kind of judge it on the games.
I'm going to be playing Sony games. Corey, what do you think, man? What would you think?
Sorry, I think if they were to turn around and try to shut it down, tomorrow, I feel like there's going to be a lot of the Bungie shills who are going to jump out and go, well, I'm not playing another Sony game, but there's also going to be enough people on that same side who are going to go, Destiny also this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to run it into the ground as a game. And they're going to talk a lot of shit on Destiny. And it's not going to be remembered for the game that it was.
Yeah.
And how great it was. Do I think that would affect Sony moving forward? Absolutely not. Drop another Spider-Man and then everyone forgets that Sony even shut down Bungie.
Yeah.
There is a little rumor floating around out there, and this is 100% a rumor that I've seen on some social media, on some Reddit and things like that, that Bungie may or may not want to run a kind of extraction shooter battle royale style game with the Halo IP, which I think if Sony was going to shut down Bungie, the only way to get the sour taste out of the mouth of the Bungie fans in the world, if Sony was going to shut down Destiny, the way to get the sour taste out for the Bungie fans would be to give them something Halo-esque. Something. Maybe not Halo Wars. You had to be a fan of like Command and Conquer to like Halo Wars, but something kind of in that realm. I feel like that would help, but I mean, it's time will tell with the life cycle of Destiny 2 and things like that. And if they decide that they're going to do more of the other video game tie-overs and, like we did with God of War, and I just lost that game in 7.
Yep.
Yep. And it was a whole thing. I forget what game that was.
There was several of them.
Yeah. It would tie it over like that and then doing a whole crossover with like the Star Wars universe and things like that. I don't know if something like that would potentially help or hurt in the long run if Sony were to say shut it down, because then you lose a whole group of fans that came over for that, cosmetic or that, feel or whatever. Mass Effect. Thank you, Zombie Pops. Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it would be a big enough of an issue for people to step away. I think it would be, oh, you did a bad. You said Spider-Man 3 is coming out next month. Holy shit. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, no. Yeah, all right. It's so crazy. Yeah. Oh, Destiny. What? I never heard of that. Yeah.
For one, I don't think they're going to shut down the game. I think that'll be like Destiny 1. They'll just keep the servers on and people will play it. And I don't know if they were to quit adding DLC and just like Destiny 1, just see the difference between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 is that year of radio silence between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, we went right into a new game. I think it's going to be a little bit longer for a Destiny 3 if they, in fact, decide to make a Destiny 3. I think, like Kingsley said, the fact that there's a resurgence now of a core amount of players who are going back, especially if they join during Destiny 2 years, want to go back and play the original Destiny game, which I think would bring some clarity to some parts of the story, even though it'll leave you confused as well. But I think they'll leave the servers up, but if they did boneheaded decision to just shut the game down and shut all the servers down to Destiny, I think they would be shooting themselves in the foot there. They could still have the stores if they want to sell some stuff that's in it. I don't know how many people would actually buy it, but I don't know. I like the idea of making, redoing Destiny 1 for the newer consoles and PC. I think that would be a smart move. I don't know how much it would be involved in doing that and how long it would take them, but I think that would be a smart move. I think a lot of people, including streamers, would jump right back in and play it just for the nostalgia vibes. So
are we going to jump back like a year and a half, maybe 2 years actually now of conversations on GDC and it being Destiny Online?
I still am hope. That
would be great.
That is a standing request that I've always had. Is I always think they should bring back both games and make the big giant. I mean, Astrocross stole my idea. I'm just going to say it. He calls it Destiny Classic. I came up with the idea well before.
It's a very easy idea. I had it too.
Fine, but
he's for sure a GDC fan.
The assets are already been made, and yes, I know they'd have to recode everything. I understand that, but the artistry has already been done. They've already made those guns. They've already made that armor. To just incorporate it into a giant game where you can earn all the stuff at just playing different parts of the game. Now, if they made it like Arc Raiders where you could go and find this stuff or do individual stuff and purchase it from vendors and stuff, that would be better. But man, we're talking about a whole new game then. But I always hold out hope for a Destiny Online. I really do. So, yeah.
Hey, but the question, would you still play other Sony games if they
I
did
would.
turn off?
I mean, I own a PlayStation. I own a Sony PS5 Pro. I mean, I'd be kind of dumb not to play other Sony games. And let's face it, man. All right, let's just look at it this way. We have had 10 to 12 years of absolute fun times playing the Destiny franchise. And I played every since 2014, I've played this game. It's the longest I've ever played any video game before I jumped off, including the Call of Duty years and the aughts. So I think it's been a good run, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to talk about next week in the TWAB. But if I think where the rubber's going to meet the road is after the update. Are they going to continue with the prophecy story? Are they going to finish it out? Because they said it was a 2-year story. Are they going to finish it out, or are they just going to cut bait and take off? I don't know. That's the $1 million question right now, is how much further are they going to go past this update? Because this update is owed to us. We already paid for this update. They delayed it because of Marathon and other things that were coming out at the same time. But this update is free. It is stuff we already paid for with the annual pass thing. So it's going to be after that. Are they going to decide to invest the time to make a new stories and new new cutscenes and all the new things for the Prophecy saga. That's going to be the question. Are they going to cut bait, or are they going to keep going and finish that out? My hope is that they finish it out, because I kind of want to know where the story goes with the 9, finding the 9. So, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, they'll probably finish it out, but it'll be over another 2 years when it should have been 1 year.
Yeah. Kind of to that point.
Yeah.
Too, is like when Todd, when I was on 240, whatever it was, I had said in there that I don't really care where the story goes as long as they keep it lore based. I don't care what they do.
Yeah.
As long as you can have a tie for whatever you're doing next, be lore based, I'm cool with it. Everyone at the time was griping that they wanted a prequel thing. They wanted to battle the 6 fronts, and they wanted all this other.
Yeah.
And then we got the Destiny mobile game, right?
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of that stuff back. I think outside of the joke of the Destiny Online, I think if you did something like that and you gave us Destiny 1 back, and then you gave us Destiny 2 with it, and then you incorporated said, SRL, which I'm still sad that we don't have that fucking back. It's been 56 years. I don't understand why. I feel like Rose from fucking Titanic at this point, right? Like, if you give us back the things that we wanted, you could BS us for a little bit, right? Like something like SRL, it's enough wholeheartedly for me right now to re-download Destiny just to play SRL. You give me back the Plaguelands the way that I wanted them and not the way that we got them in Ash and Iron, I would be down for that. If you gave us all those other raids and that content back, like even the Dreadnought, people who've never been able to experience that, if you gave us that stuff back, I feel like you could push it another year or 2 and then be able to come out with something later, whether it be another big ass DLC or it be a Destiny 3. I think you could do that, and the core players of Destiny would stay.
Right.
But then it would have to be like, it's something that completely changes the game, that it's all over social media, whether you're on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, that you're like, wait, hold on, they're doing what?
Yeah.
Like, I know they just gave us all the stuff back, but they're doing what? Give us that. Let us get out of the universe or something. I feel like you could kind of extend it and do whatever the hell you want at that point.
Yeah. All right. Matt, Amazing Taco King says, I've been playing Neverwinter Nights for 22 years. Those are rookie numbers, Todd. Well, for me, that's a long time. I don't stick with games that long, and Destiny's one that just definitely hooked me in. Some comments in the chat here from that question. Lego Batman this month. Let's freaking go. Dadbot Hero says Gears of War E-Day looks good for one coming up. I think Astrocross knows something we don't know. That's why he's getting back into Destiny 1. The tinfoil hat theory, though. Yeah, Dadbot Hero, I hear you, man. I think it's just nostalgia from Scarlet Maddie. I went back into the last couple of weeks. Love the member berries, maybe to me, but $70 hardline. When we think about the kids you guys were talking about earlier playing the game, what's easier for a kid to ask their parents for $70 or a whole $180 to $100 might be too much as far as the GTA 6 pricing question we had. So
first year children should be playing GTA.
Exactly.
That's like, let's make sure that's out. I don't have kids, but like if I had a kid under 15, I'm not letting them play.
Yeah, exactly.
Grand Theft Auto.
Hello, Guardians. This is Notorious One, and you're listening to Guardian Down Roundtable.
Hey, listeners, it's Future Gator here. Hey, I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for listening to the show. Really hope you guys are enjoying the new format of the show, and I'm just curious on the couple topics that we had tonight. Is Xbox just a bunch of corporate speak right now? Or is what Asha Sharma's doing, is she really making things happen? Is she really changing the way Xbox stands for games and their consoles in the future? Or, like I said, is it all just corporate speak? I'm just curious what you guys think. Also, as the gaming audience seems to be aging, I think Corey said the average age of the international worldwide gaming community is 41 years old and it's 35 in the United States. What do you think? Is that mainly the reason why more PVE games are widely accepted that are being released these days? Or is this something else? Let us know. We have a feedback channel in our Discord. And if you want to join our Discord community, by the way, that's discord.gg/Guardian Down Roundtable, all one word. Give you a direct link right to our Discord community and join up. Say hi. Everyone usually is very friendly when you join, and usually some people will pop in to say hi and welcome, including myself if I see it. So anyway, let us know. And there's a feedback channel in our Discord where you can answer those questions or add some new input. We appreciate every input that we get, whether it's from our live audience on our live shows or from our audio listeners, from our audio podcast. Big shout out as always to my co-host, Mr. Kingsley Mack. A big shout out to our Patreon community. I believe we're 88 strong now. We have bonus content, special roles in our Discord, even some private channels where you can talk to all of us and the other supporters of the show and community. So if you're curious what's involved, you can join for free just to look around. A shout out to our largest Patreon supporters, like our Dungeon Champion patron, Deadpool1 Merc, and our Raid Boss patrons, Amazing Taco King, Frostbite, and Jealous Gaming. I also wanted to give a shout out to our latest member of our Patreon community, Sky Guy, with his new $10 fist bump pledge, giving back to our gaming community. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Here's the thing. I need you all to do me a favor. Discovery of new shows in Apple Podcast or Spotify or any of the podcast apps out there, discovery is not very good. It's nothing like YouTube or Twitch. And I need you guys to help us out. If you really enjoy our show and you think you know someone who might want to get a kick out of listening to our show, it's up to you guys to spread the word for us. All you got to say is, hey, visit guardiandowncast.com, and it'll give them all the information they need if they want to join our Discord or ask us a question or check out some episodes. Very, very simple. Just tell them guardiandowncast.com. And if you would like to give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you want to comment on Spotify as well, feel free to jump in. We like hearing our feedback from our listeners. So for whatever game you're into these days, be sure to take breaks, hydrate, and touch grass. Slammin', a member of our community for over 4 years now, and a $5 Gatorade patron since 2022. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
The path to victory is long, but there's always hope. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening, and whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. And later, Guardian.
Overtime. Let's do this.
Well, gentlemen, it has been a great show. That is our show for tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out and talking tonight. I have good conversations tonight, man. This is what I love about this show. We can really we can go really anywhere we want, but I appreciate you guys filling in tonight and talking with us about your topics. Corey, before you go, man, you want to give a shout out for your podcast? You want to give anybody a shout out in the communities out there?
Yeah. Sit Daddy Fresh, otherwise known as Corey. You can find me in most of the time over in the Space Mafia Discord, hanging out with the DPS boys. As football season gets closer, you'll be able to find me in the Buzzer to Buzzer Discord, where we have our own little podcast. We talk about sports and things coming up and hot takes. We like to talk about sports the way that people actually do and not do the technically and fix our fucking, bifocals and snap our suspender. We're not doing all that. Right. Yeah, you find me in those two places, and that's kind of it. Okay. I got a TikTok you can go follow if you want, but it's not my name here. You'll have to message me for it. I'll throw it out there.
Wow. I tell you what, man, NFL season rolls back around. Be sure to invite me, as I definitely want to talk some football, man. Definitely.
Me and Cody have been talking football with a signing that happened during the show tonight, and we've been talking. We put a $20 bet on something.
Okay.
In the middle of the show tonight. So
nice. Okay. All right. Mr. Zombie Pops, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, brother. You want to give a shout out to anybody in the community?
The Wednesday night raid crew. I recently had to drop from that. Just hope those guys are hanging out and doing good things.
Awesome, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being on tonight, man. Kingsley, any shout outs?
Yes, to our lovely guests. It's always fun having Zombie back on again, but you're kind of like a normal. But true guest, it's Daddy Fresh. I haven't been on a podcast with you before, so thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Don't flatter me too much. My head can only get so big.
You're flattered. You get all the praise right now.
I'm giving a shout out to everybody in chat tonight. We had some really good comments tonight. Amazing Taco King. We had, that was you, Zombie. We had External Barge.
Yeah.
In the chat tonight, Deadpool 1 Merc, Dadbod Hero, Scarlet Maddie, as always, thank you, sir. Azuro Demon, thank you for jumping in. And Danger Powers also was in here tonight. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. So I'll give everybody a shout out that shows up to our live shows. I know it's not the most convenient thing, and live shows are really tough to catch sometimes, especially on a weekday. You know, people got to work the next morning. I get that. I totally do. So we appreciate everyone who jumps in every Thursday and wants to give us feedback on what we're talking about. So that's it, guys. That's our show. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next week. 2 exciting guests next week. Not the current company excluded here, but we have 2 more guest co-hosts coming next week, and let's just say I haven't talked with them in a long time, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they've been up to. So with that being said, remember, as in life or in your game, get your reps in. Later, Guardians.
Have a good one.
I'm not good at math. What can I say? I kill bugs for a living, so.